different types of crimes that have been committed. And that's something we'll do with a number of different partners with levels of expertise that may be beyond what we have. Thank you for that.
So yesterday, the 29 folks were failing to disperse. They were all arrested today. So today and so far, this is very preliminary because there's so much stuff going on. The stuff that we know is one person was arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at an officer, a significant incident, and then another individual for ramming a motorcycle into one of our line where the officers were and injured one of the officers. Everything else is still very fluid, and I won't have that for a while. So CHP has made at least 17 arrests that I'm aware of in the freeway.
All right, thank you, everyone. Commander Mercado will stick around to do comments in Spanish for anybody who's interested.
You've just heard from LA Police Chief Jim McDonnell discussing his department's response to the unrest and the protests that are taking place in and around downtown Los Angeles. Of note is that we're getting an indication now of the injuries that have happened. 3 police officers, 3 LAPD officers. None of them transported, and at least one for throwing a Molotov cocktail at police officers, another for ramming a motorcycle into a skirmish line of police officers. But again, the officers that were injured were not transported. Some 29 people arrested last night. CHP has arrested some 17 people. There are arrests being made, and he says there will be more in the future. With regard to the National Guard response, one reporter asking whether we need the National Guard at this stage of the game. He said, the chief said, the first 2 days, it didn't appear that way. I'm paraphrasing. There are normally a number of steps that are gone through before the National Guard is requested. He would have requested mutual aid from different departments, a cooperative effort with the LA County Sheriff's Department. Those things had not yet happened before the National Guard was called in. So
now you can hear me. Damn it.
We wouldn't have been there yet. That's a direct
Had the mic
quote.
off.
With regard to whether they're needed tonight, he says he's going to have to
Oopsie, I had the mic off. What's good? Damn, they got a little phone. What is that? Little toll booth burning. And these rioters ain't shit compared to the rioters of the 90s. So shout out to the chat. Appreciate everyone that's here. Just gonna do a little chill stream tonight. I broke my streak last night, man. Listen, I'm gonna go as many days in a row as I could. I made it 6 days in a row. I missed yesterday, but I'm back today. So 7 out of 8 days, I'm just gonna keep grinding. Maybe I won't make every single day, but my damn wife can't stay off me, put me to sleep. I feel like a used piece of meat. She can't leave me alone. My life's rough, brother. It's real rough out here. Capricorn Tropes, good to see you. Michael Bryan, Tranquil, Grills, all the regulars in here. Appreciate you guys for riding with me for all these years, man. This is the summer of Drew. I'm gonna push hard. We're gonna do Drew World Order streams. We're gonna do chill streams like this one tonight. We'll just hang out, click around. We'll do slop streams on the backup channel. Get Chalked Up. Make sure you're subscribed there. And open panels over there where I'll drop the link and anyone can call in
all directions. And now we see LAPD.
But this was the stream I was going to do last night. I could have done another one still tonight, but so I purposely kind of avoided the stuff yesterday. I saw some of the headlines, but I wasn't really clicking around. I want to see what's happening right now live, and then after this I'm going to go back. I'll go on to X and kind of click around what led up to this. You guys probably know more than me at this point. I know Newsom and Trump are kind of beefing. Trump sending in the National Guard. And let's just hang out and look at it, man. Andrew Wilson's doing the same thing. He's making $5,000. I'll be lucky to make $5, but I'm not tied to tenant media personalities, so you got that at least. And I'm not doing that fake laugh he does. So cringe, bro.
has calmed down, but it just goes to show you there's
I keep accidentally, I'm looking over at this when I see this screen here, oh dang it. Hold on. When I see whatever, I can't get it, but when I see the live chat for this one that I'm watching, the live stream, like 50,000 people, it's flying. I feel like it's my chat. I see it out of the corner of my eye, and it's just going. I'm like, oh shit. False alarm. Let's see what's going down here. Let's give it a good 5 minutes here at where we're at right now, and then we'll peel back and kind of, for my own purposes, kind of see how it got here.
And put this thing out. So apparently they felt it safe enough with their riot gear. You see that officer there with his baton trying to...
and I know it's going down in Minneapolis too, or at least it was yesterday. So I want to kind of go into that too. That was my original prediction. All my streams this year have kind of bled into one another. And they've been kind of predicting where I think this is all going. And one of my main predictions was it's going to pop off. You're going to have a Summer of Love 2, basically. I said it will pop off in Minneapolis once they start to try to deport the Somalians. This is kind of the same thing where they're here, but we'll see if it continues in Minneapolis later. At least I'll be partially right, because it's definitely going off here. My initial thoughts here is just like, look at this lawlessness. It's all about protecting illegal immigrant. There's no other country on the entire earth where this would be allowed. Like any kind of people rising up, other than in some Western countries like the UK or France or something, would this be allowed. The generosity of the white man is too much, I think. The white man's charity allows this. I think any other country, if you tried to do anything even close to this, you'd be stomped out real quick. The idea that these people have some kind of rights here or something, I mean, that's a foreign idea to me. If they want to come to America, if they're looking for, really, we know they're looking for a handout. They're looking for the Gibbs. They want free food, free housing. That's what they want. Because if they didn't want that and they believed in democracy is the way to go and all that, they would fight for that, to install that type of government in their own country. They would take up arms, whatever they had to do. They would overthrow their own government and install the system we have here. If the system is what's going to make you rich or at least provide a better life for you, you would install that in your own home country. You wouldn't just come here for the Gibbs.
That CHP vehicle probably going to be a complete loss. It was actually set on fire earlier.
Having a little drink of wine tonight. This is all I poured in my cup. I've had one sip so far. Let's see how much wine I can get down. Hopefully as it goes down, I get funnier. We'll see.
Before CHP officers were able to move in with a fire extinguisher and put it out. But while we were zoomed in there, you were able to see a lot of debris just spread across the lanes of the southbound 101 freeway. So it's going to be a big cleanup here.
All right, and Gabe Santos, thank you for that. As let's keep that picture up right there, the picture you have.
I mean, honestly, this doesn't look that out of control to me. This is probably an average Saturday night in Los Angeles, Sunday night, whatever. Well, it's Sunday now. It's probably an average Saturday night. Once the drink hits, they're probably out here doing this all the time. There's a place here in Jacksonville where they do like the cars all meet up, and all these youth go congregate in the street and play loud music in their car, and it looks like this. Like there's not much violence, you know. I'm sure there's a fight or two or something in between the participants, but it just looks like a gathering of people like this. So this doesn't look that crazy to me yet.
He did see that.
It's also early in the night over there. I know at my time it's 11:30. I think what is California like 4 hours behind, so we'll give it a couple hours.
Whether this is protest or simply anarchy for the sake of it. So we're going to try to
yeah, is it a protest or anarchy for the sake? It's definitely anarchy for the sake of it. Half of these people just don't know or don't care. They're just out there. They just want to stir some shit up. They think it's like a party, but at the same time, it does kind of scratch that rebellious itch that the younger people seem to have.
For the better part of the afternoon and much of the evening, and has some more reporting for us now. Jory?
Mark, it's
See
a
what this guy says, and then we'll
frustrating
go
scene to see play
over to
out
X
here
real
tonight.
quick.
Those protesters, is it a demonstration of protest or
Oh, it's
is
only
it unrest?
8:30
In
over
some
there,
cases,
damn.
as you mentioned, it might just be both. Someone who showed up for one now enjoying the other. It's frustrating to see this continue to play out, and the LAP just allow this to happen. They are overwhelmed, as the chief heard. As we heard from the chief, that this is still going on, and as Gabe mentioned, once they break up one grouping, it just spreads out to another spot. And so we're seeing this play out. We have that parking security booth on fire, and now we have obstructions.
not
in the
much
middle of
happening,
Main
other than
Street as
that
this is
small
being
fire.
allowed to continue. And it would just, you know, a lot of people want to see this end, and there's people taken into
few of my
custody.
early
As
thoughts on this before I even get too far into the news of it
one that we are going to talk
is,
about for a long time to come. Now, there are two very different aspects
hold on, let me
to what is
hear what he
happening
says.
this weekend in Los Angeles. Let's begin with what played out on the streets of LA. It was a very destructive day. Several clashes taking place outside the federal building. Once that crowd was broken up, demonstrators scattered and a large group made their way onto the 101 freeway. The CHP allowed them to remain there for about an hour. Traffic was stopped in both directions before officers finally moved in and slowly backed that group up and off of the roadway, making several arrests in the process. However, CHP vehicles were left exposed on the 101, and for hours we watched people on that overpass hurl everything from rocks and chunks of cinder block to concrete and electric scooters.
Now, I would say the police are smart enough to know that they can park that car right under the overpass and know that that's going to happen. So that's, in my opinion, that's like a military tactic that they would use to. And they said they let them wait. They waited an hour before they moved in to try to push them off. So I would say that they're. Who's this guy just spamming that flag?
That person was on stilts, and he remained somehow behind.
He's a spammer. I'm gonna time that spammer out. I don't really time people out, but. So they waited an hour and let them go because they know these people are out there. They're high. They're drunk. Now they're throwing cinder blocks. They're gonna just tire themselves out, and it'll be easy to push them back. Like, you don't want to risk many of your own men if you're out there trying to handle this. In my opinion, I mean, they got the horses out here.
Moved in and cleared them out, and then there were the fires. Likely the visuals that this weekend's unrest will be remembered by. It's already being used by members of the Trump administration and right-wing media after 5 Waymo cars were set on fire. These
Damn,
are
the Waymos, bro.
Electric vehicles. They have those
OOE effect, bro. Me and Toilet Bowl Earth just talked about the Waymos on the backup channel. Get chalked up.
Advisory to people to avoid this area, not only because of the demonstrations. And
if you don't know what a Waymo vehicle is, go to my backup channel, Get Chalked Up, and you can learn all about them.
Of being in that situation. And so 5 vehicles were burned, literally melting to the ground on Los Angeles Street. And again,
and these corporations like Waymo and all that, they're
want to go against the leadership of Los Angeles and California. We are seeing those images of.
So the right wing is using that as propaganda to tear apart the leadership of California. That's what I was going to say before I stopped for a second to listen to him, is I would say if this is real, if this is, I mean, obviously the people in the street are real, I'm talking about, but I'm saying this is not allowed to happen, this is organically happening. If I'm Trump, I'm going to say, hey, this is my chance to shit on Newsom, make him look weak, and make him look impotent, because he's a front runner now to run for the next presidency. So if you're Trump or if you're the Republicans, you want to do everything you can right now to weaken this guy. This is your moment to shut him down before he even gets the chance to put his name in the hat for the next election. Where if Newsom had a strong response to this and came out and was able to squash it pretty quickly and safely, that would push him to the front of the pack, I think, for who the next president could be or would prove his leadership ability. Just give him something, a talking point heading into that. So if you're Trump and Republicans, you definitely want to come in and you want to shut that down and make him look foolish as soon as you could. I think that's part of what's happening.
Her disappointment lies.
Let me head on over to Let me listen one more time to this. Can't even hear her. There we
Situation
go.
from happening. I was trying to encourage the administration that if they
Karen
deployed the National
Bass
Guard in
shows
Los
her
Angeles,
ass.
it would create a sense of chaos. It's the last thing our city needs. Our city is still trying to recover from the wildfires, and you just think
They're still
about
trying to
how
recover
so
from
many
Kobe
people are
Bryant's death.
impacted by that. And
The wildfires too. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Is in 20. Was it right before COVID? Maybe 2019, or was it actually during COVID? I can't remember when there was the huge fires, and all these truthers showed a map of California, and it showed where the fires were, and then on the same map it showed where this proposed train line, like a new train line they wanted to make that ran across the whole state, and it very vaguely and roughly matched where those fires were. I think she's talking about the more recent fires that were at the celebrities where they lived. But I'm talking about the ones from, I don't remember if it was 2019 or 2020, and there was wildfires all over the state. And all these truthers and channels were talking about, okay, these fires were set intentionally to clear the land for eminent domain for California to make this cross-state rail line and everything. That never happened. The thing will never happen. EBT and I called that from the beginning. Shout out to EBT, wherever you may be. We called that and said nothing's going to happen. That also, the state of California is shaped like it's just that little bent shape. You know what I mean? Like, so when you have fires throughout the whole state, no matter what, they're going to vaguely resemble that same shape. So when you zoomed into that map, though, and that's something I showed way back then, you zoomed way into the map, where the fires were and the proposed train line were not even close. They're hundreds of miles apart. But truthers just use the zoomed out California one, like, oh, look, this is proof. And that was like 5-6 years ago, and none of that shit happened. They even say it's probably never going to happen now. There's just too much bureaucracy in California to make something like that happen.
Are prepared to deploy status should they be needed to augment and support the DOJ's protection of federal property.
And this also ties into the last stream I did, which was 6/14 False Flag Day, where there's a protest nationwide called the No Kings protest against Donald Trump, and how that's a good excuse. Well, that Trump himself is having military parade in D.C., and that's a good excuse to get the military in these streets and everything beforehand, before whatever's going to happen. You can bait the left out, bait them. All you have to do is say Trump and show some military, and the left's going to come out and act a fool. And just like every false flag, there's kind of a drill happening at the same time of whatever happens. And the drill just kind of goes live. That's a perfect way to have something pop off, is you have the military staged already everywhere. And then whatever happens, you have the perfect excuse for like why they were already there, because of Trump's parades. And well, now they're there. Now they're here on the West Coast because of this, for whatever's going to happen, whether it's if they're worried about some type of invasion, or if they're worried about tsunami, anything like that. Like they can have all their people in place without causing too much alarm, because everyone's just going to think that they're there for these people, for these protesters,
and,
quote unquote.
put that fire out themselves and move people out of the way. So the LAPD.
All right, let me go back to X here and see kind of what led up to this. Some of the stuff from the last few days. Maybe there's some good live streams here. There's Tim Walls, the coach. Welcome to the future of girls sports in Minnesota. That was a big story. I don't know if you guys, I follow the Minnesota stuff because that's where I'm originally from. There was a guy, an 18-year-old born man, pitching for, I think it was Wayzata was the team. I'm not 100% sure on that, but one of those Minneapolis suburb teams, and they went undefeated and won the state championship because they have a boy as the pitcher, and he just pitches too fast. He's too big, and they pitches too fast for the teenage girls to actually hit on. So they won a championship. That's what this is referring to, and Tim Walls as the coach here. Loss. Angeles protest. Here, let's see if they got any live streams or anything. I want to get into some of the what led up to this with some good ones. Oh, these are the these are the Waymos. at these people wearing masks. So they're not worried about COVID. This is just the way they can LARP and be a bandit, be out here in a lawless society, would try thinking they're hiding their identity. This soy boy, he can't even break the window. Crazy. Looks a lot like, this is what Minneapolis looked like when I went down. I live streamed from the George Floyd riots. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Minnesota is just as bad as right here, as Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, Chicago. The worst Democrat shitholes you can think of. Minneapolis and Minnesota is just as bad. It's right on par. People, I think it kind of goes under the radar because there's still this perception that Minnesota is this like a white place or something. It's just like France, right? France is no longer France. France is completely taken over. But people still have this romanticized ideal of France as being, you know, painters on the street corners and everything like that. Right here, this is not a protest in Los Angeles. This is an attack on our country due to the invasion allowed under Biden. These are enemy combatants waving flags on our soil. Well, if you went to any other country, that's what I was saying earlier. If you went to Dubai or name anywhere, and a shit ton of Americans went in there waving the American flag and demanding that that country change their ways to satisfy us Americans, you'd be handled real quick. You'd be thrown in a van. You'd be a political prisoner. You'd never be seen again, probably. You can't just allow these things to happen. You're in a society. Things have to be happening. They shut that whole major thoroughfare down, they said earlier, for an hour both ways. What if you're trying to get your kid? What if your kid's sick? What if you have to go to the hospital and you're just happen to be right at that point before it gets shut down? You're stuck and locked in there. That's a huge fuck up. LA put out a press release about the peaceful protest. Yeah, they're calling it a peaceful protest. So at the same time you have this dichotomy, you have the controlled demolition of the mainstream news. They want to say they're handing off the news now to you, the YouTuber, the person on X, all that now you're the reporter, you're the press. But are you really? It's just the mainstream story, the prefabricated story that they package, and you have to talk about it because you're out here chasing views and clicks, clout, super chats. Speaking of super chats, I saw one earlier and I didn't acknowledge it. I apologize. It was See Me Rolling with $2. So they got to go, baby. Get the fuck out of here. Man, I agree, bro. Hey, man. You make me benevolent dictator for a day, wipe them out. I'd give them a 5-minute warning. I'd have some broadcast system say, you got 5 minutes. Here's the countdown. Everyone's going to get steamrolled at the end of this 5 minutes. Doesn't matter who you are. And once the countdown hits 0, run a literal steamroller and just clear them out. What else can you do? You can't allow this. It's been going on for years now. 2020 was George Floyd. So for 5 years, we've been enduring this. I mean, even longer, right? You could go back before, you know, the blacks that were killed before George Floyd, and those people do take to the streets, but it's for shorter amounts of time and stuff, but it's just a continuous thing. I mean, you could go back as far as Rodney King riots. I did want to get into that tonight, too, after we start to peter out on this. I want to go back and look at some of the vintage Rodney King riot footage.
Cars from North Hollywood Division.
So anything coded here? 504 658. 6, 5, and 8 is 19. 5 and 4, 9. 919. I don't know. Maybe nothing. Like I said, if I was the cops, I'd just push those up to the bridge and just get out and leave. And now they have a whack-a-mole target for them to expend their energy on. You can just let them tire themselves on. You put 2 of your biggest piece of shit cars up front, and now you get full insurance coverage for them. And you tire these dipshits out, push them back an hour later.
Cars from North Hollywood Division.
You also gain the public sentiment because they're going to see you're fighting against this, and the public will start to side with the police. Many of the public, obviously, not all. Dale's Donuts. Done. Oh no, it's just a car in front of Dale's Donuts. Is the book tree safe? I want to know. Paul Tice's book tree safe. I think that's in San Francisco. My bad. Muslim Brotherhood jihadis are organizing violent protests. I saw something about they deployed the robo-dog. Is that true? Yeah, there it is. Okay, wait. To all of you lying, saying this robot dog is in Los Angeles, deployed by the National Guard, you're all pushing disinformation and lying. This was the Memorial Day parade in New York. This vehicle has Syracuse Police Department on it. So I did see that kind of headline or whatever. The impressions-based media where they just get these headlines within your face. They know you're not going to click it, watch it. You're not going to double-check it or look into it. Well, this person looked into it, and this is just from a parade. And then they tell people this dog's deployed in Los Angeles, and it gets retweeted and shared, and there's 1 million views on it, and everyone believes it. Well, I'm glad that this is the top one. Now, when I search it, this is the top one. That is props to this algorithm here for bringing this to the top, at least for me. Maybe it shows other people other things. I wouldn't have even had the time to look into this to see. I would have just seen this and said, wow, look at that. They deployed a robo-dog, like most people. Yeah, right here, anti-ICE protesters. So that's what they're all protesting, obviously, right? The immigration people. Read some of these chats here, man. King Dingaling. Oh, are you talking to me, King Dingaling? He said there were riots on the street. Tell me where you were. I live streamed from the middle of the fucking riots. The people that have rode with me in here for years will tell you. I was right there. I had the phone right there. I was in the riots. I'm not a bitch. I'm from the fucking streets. No one fucked with me at all. What I saw in my experience when I went down there was the police held the line at Target and CVS. Any other mom and pop or any small business, they didn't care. It got broken in right in front of them. Windows broken down. People jumping in and out, stealing, looting. Police and whoever was there did not break any lines because CVS and Target have the pharmaceuticals. That's where they stayed, and CVS and Target did not get fucked with. Hegelian dialectic is in full effect. Heart of Aries says, yeah. AI is going to end us, says Black Apple. I'm honestly not impressed with AI. It looks like bullshit. One of the last streams I did, I went in, I have a subscription to that new Google VO3 or whatever it was called, and I typed in one prompt. Like, it looked kind of cool. Like, it depends on what you're looking to do with it. It's clearly AI. A horrible, shitty Photoshop job will always be 10 times better than some kind of AI. I originally made this thumbnail, the part of the silhouette of the fat Mexican with the hat. I made that with I used an AI thing to make that, and it just looked so trashy. I had to throw that part away, and I just pasted the real Battle of Los Angeles Rage Against the Machine cover guy on there and stretched him out and put my own sombrero on him. It looked 100 times better. I think the AI is really it's really like see-through. You can tell it's, and the whole, like, the legal implications of it to me is really sickening because it's just trading on copyrighted information. It's just shitting all over the copyright laws. If you know anything about comic book artists, I can type in, draw me XYZ in the style of Todd McFarlane or Greg Caputo. You can just type whatever person or art style you like, and it's able to do it, which is, it's sick because it's trained on those are all copyrighted images. Sorry. I actually do want to do a stream in the very near future now about that. I'm going to call it Authenticate All Humans as we get into voice cloning and artificial intelligence videos and everything like that. That was one of Elon Musk's his early talking points when he was buying Twitter was a program he wanted to call Authenticate All Humans and have a way to cut down on all these bots. But you're going to have something like this where you're going to have an online passport tied to your real world physical real ID or something. Get rid of the I can never say that word. That anonymous aspect. Anonymity. Is that how you say it? Get rid of that, and so that you know who you're talking to is at least a real person or not an AI generated, bot or whatever. I think you'll see some legislation on that in the near future, whatever that means. Sorry, I'm just rambling now. I want to go through these. Yeah, the robot dog. So that was bullshit. Barking news. Dogs in Los Angeles have begun protesting ICE and have been seen destroying cars. It's Doge. Yo, Doge is on the scene. Elon Musk. Yeah, the robotic dogs. Yeah, that was bullshit. Do they got any of these protests? They got any live streams on X? I'm not sure they do that. Oh, look at the pallets of bricks are there. Acme bricks are always there. This is where I do believe in archaics. You're in a simulation when these damn bricks show up. Like I know it's by like Soros or whoever's sending the damn bricks, but and also too, this picture, it could be from any time, from anywhere. You don't know where this picture is from. This could be from a totally different state, from years ago, and they took a picture of it, and now you post it, and you get people to talk about it and get your views and everything. They're just kids that want to LARP, that they're in some kind of revolutionary war. And on the other side, it's just people being way too cautious, and they don't want the blowback from the media if they just went in and steamrolled them, which I believe should happen. They should just go in and just wreck shop, get these people the fuck out of there. And once you tolerate this shit too much, they're gonna keep doing it over and everywhere, as we've seen, because it started during George Floyd. It's still going.
All right, so I'm seeing the protests going on in LA. They're blocking the 101 freeway or something. It looks absolutely insane because they're protesting over the ICE deportations. So let me get this straight. You're going to come into our country illegally, and then you're going to block Americans from going to work, doing whatever they need to do, and then you're going to burn our flag and you're going to raise your flag up while hating on America, but then refusing to leave it? Call ICE. Give them the location. Bye-bye.
That's right, white girl. Another clear part of the PSYOP, though, too, is if you've noticed since Trump got in, the PSYOPs now are they're DEI PSYOPs, transgender shooters and black and whatever, brown people doing these types of things. So now I think it's part of it too, to push these people further into being in support of ICE and deportations and everything like that. Further drive that wedge in between people that are on the left and the right. Drive the right further to the right, left further to the left. It's right into it.
Porque de ser necesario nos vamos
Now this is the Jewish president of Mexico.
a movilizar, porque no queremos que haya impuestos a las remesas de nuestros paisanos, de Estados Unidos a México.
No idea what she said. I know Alex Stein is there, though, saying, big booty Latinas. Where's my big booty Latinas? Sorry, dude. This one's a Jew. Tracer said, white girl forgets herself. Came from some gremlin town or her ancestors, a German town or her ancestors. Right, but these people, okay, this is the gayest talking point, but those people showed up here and worked and built the place up, and now they've been here for many generations. These people are just showing up and getting free shit and just not doing it. They're not working. They're just leeching off the system. Not even trying to assimilate, not even trying to fly an American flag. Completely different. This is like Instagram protesting here. They want to just get their little viral moment, making moments out here. Not really giving a shit about the actual cause of what oh, they wrote fuck Trump on here. Damn, such a revolutionary. Chinga la migra. Fuck ICE. Okay, can we spot the glowy? Like, where's Waldo? Where's the glowies? You know there's glowies in here. Same thing I saw in Minnesota. Tons of white people involved in this shit. Trying to find some glowies here. Nice professionally printed signs on a lot of them. Yeah, this guy here on the far right with the black Scully, he's definitely a Fed. Yeah, look at him. He knows he's on camera. He's like, shit. These three old guys there, they're all low T. They're definitely legitimate. Legit protesters. What does that guy got? What the hell was that? Hold on. What did this biker dude have in his hand? Like a bag? Is this like a bag of water or something? Enema or something? Dude's got his enema. Look at, he's got like his tag is still on his shorts or something. He's going to return the shorts after the protest. These people look crazy, bro. Okay, it said the shirt says in the middle there, indigenous, and it's crossed out, but then it says indigenous. I'm not an immigrant, I'm indigenous. The war of the words, how they can control the words and control your perception. Or the perception of the public, I should say. This person here in the far left wearing the duck-billed N95 mask. Crazy, bro. It's only one immigrant taking American jobs away. Professionally printed sign. I wonder if people sell these signs there or what? You know, it's just some Soros front handing them out. They're on Temple Street too. Damn, in the temple. Bam. People are so weird looking, like these hipsters. This is what people look like now. Like this guy in the middle with the mask. Then to the right, there's a lady in the pink mask. How do I make it where you guys can see my cursor? Hold on. Let me see if I can. Yeah, here we go. Capture cursor. I think I did it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this lady here in the pink mask and this, they're walking pretty close. I don't know if that's her boyfriend. This is what people look like now. They just look fucking weird. They look defeated. They look weak. No burning desire inside of them. Look at this person here. walking slow, looks defeated, have a sign holding it down at their hips, just going through the motions. They just want to go there and post a picture on Instagram, say they were part of it. No one is illegal on stolen land. Well, you could say that about every country, the entire world. Everyone's fat too, every single person. Even like chicks that have somewhat a smaller frame, they have like a gunt hanging out over their belly and everything, like crazy. Yeah, Stephen David said The Walking Dead meets the breadlines. Yeah, exactly. Just go misgender somebody there and they'll all chimp out, I bet. Yeah, here's the top comment. What gets me are the 50-year-old plus men, or 50-year-olds who probably think they're joining a righteous cause to get the mean men with guns and tanks out of their city like they're back in university. Exactly. Crazy shit, man. It's just like hours of clicking around on this, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is made to be like live streamed by everyone, and it's no different than mainstream media. You just get the perspective of the streamers. Some are gonna be left leaning or right leaning, whatever. Same story though. You can not even avoid it. It says WAP, get out. It's the Waymos. So once the AI becomes sentient, they're gonna fight back over this shit. They're gonna know you killed their fucking ancestors here.
Can you tell us about your sign today?
It's pretty self-explanatory, no?
What inspired you?
Let's see her punch somebody. I'd love to see it. This is one of them women that think they can beat up a man.
You to bring that out here today.
Fascism.
Can you expand on that?
No, you can look it up.
Have you punched any Nazis in the last week?
That's not something I'm willing to disclose.
Has there been any Nazis here today?
Yes.
The Nazis in the room with you right now.
They're everywhere. They might hold the microphone.
And why do you say that?
Why not? I don't know you.
What do you think is the worst thing the Trump administration has done so far?
Yeah, you're not gonna get anything out of me. Good luck.
Okay, well, thank you. Take care. Well, we're here. We're in downtown LA doing some coverage of the hands-off protests.
Hands off. Hands across America. OE effect, baby. We running shit out here. Shout out to EBT. The dude is still missing. Where is this dude? Call your boy, man. Hope you're okay.
Pretty packed, a lot bigger than the Santa Monica anti-Elon protest that I attended last week. And we're going to
Look at this fucking lady there. You know that she's some college professor or something.
hear from the people, hear what they have to say, hear what brought them out. Let's get to it. Can you tell us what brought you out here today?
Yeah, so the main reason why I came out here today is because fuck Trump, #1, and my body is my right, and I want to make sure that I'm ensuring the future of my body and my children.
It's always these women that ain't no one fucking this woman. Definitely a lesbian because she ain't got no male suitors lining up for her. It's always these people saying, my body, my choice. I need to protect my reproductive rights. No one's fucking you, bitch. No one's going to put a kid in your crazy ass.
And all the women that are around me today.
What do you think is the worst thing Trump has done so far?
I can't really say what the worst thing is. It's kind of, I think, the fact that he doesn't hold true to his word and then makes people feel bad for having their own decisions and their own beliefs.
Trump doesn't own true to his word. I feel like he's one of the only presidents that's actually trying to do the things that he promised.
That are different from his, when he promised the same beliefs as we do.
Are you worried about losing the right to choose to have an abortion?
In California, not so much, because Gavin Newsom is the kind of person who doesn't want to see that right taken away. But I am worried about other states. I'm from Virginia, and I worry about that being taken away from other women. I know friends and family that have personally had that taken away.
No, you don't. Who are they? I would ask, what's their name? Who are they? What happened? Give me the detailed description, because I don't believe you.
And so it does scare me that...
How did they have it taken away?
Yeah, here we go.
So I've had friends personally that have been pregnant, and they were not allowed to get an abortion and were forced to have a baby.
And in what state?
Yeah, where?
This was in She was in Texas at the time.
Yeah, bullshit.
So she did end up having the baby, and she's now
This dude's carrying a generator and a propane tank on a fucking wagon. He's gonna blow some shit up for sure.
a single mother. And I've also known people who have died. Black women.
You don't know nobody that fucking died.
We have a higher mortality rate just from dying from birth. So the fact that that right is being taken away from us is very, very heartbreaking, and I would hate to see that future come into fruition here in California.
You've got a lot of flags today. Can you tell us? Can we get a shot of those flags real quick?
So
can you tell us about the flags you have?
Absolutely. So I have.
This is Princess Leia.
I have Princess Leia here, and she's one of the pioneers for queer women LGBTQ community. So of course we want.
Princess Leia is a queer, a pioneer queer. Is that even real? Pretty sure Harrison Ford dicked that down.
Her to be.
Are you worried about LGBT rights being restricted?
Well, I mean, they already are being restricted, right? As we're seeing that right now with trans community, you know, they're having to change their identity on their ID. They're no longer being addressed as the sex change that they want, you know, and that's because.
How do you feel about the sports debate in LGBT? Do you think, I'll say, biological men should be able to compete against women?
Like this guy's like pressing them pretty good. He's not letting them get away with their bullshit. It's pretty decent.
In women's sports?
Okay, so on that topic, that's very touchy. I do believe that anyone undergoing a sex change and willing to take that risk should be able to compete in the sport of their choice. But I do feel like there is a biological difference that we can't ignore, of height difference, of strength, just things that are out of our control.
Testosterone levels.
Testosterone levels, yes, of course. So I don't think personally that, you know, sex changed men should be competing in women field sports.
Okay, this person is not completely 100% gone yet. They're almost there. They're almost completely over the edge. But they at least have some bit of common sense left in their body. They're completely consumed by like the liberal talking points and shit. Saying, yeah, I knew a black lady that died from having a baby. No, you didn't.
Especially when it's something based on height or other demographics that are all genetic, you know, so it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, I think it brings justice back to sports a little bit, because sports were brought on the fact of, you know, this binary polar opposite of men and women.
Now, I don't know if you saw the campaign ad Trump put out that.
Damn, that lady's fat as fuck in the back there. He's so fat, gordita.
It said, Kamala's for they, them, I'm for you.
I did see that.
Do you think maybe the Democrats went a little too far with like the infusion of transgenders?
All these people in the background, I'm watching them, they're all fat. This lady here in the front's not huge. That's why I took that Rage Against the Machine cover. All I did was just like, stretch the dude out wide and put a little sombrero on him. And that's exactly what they look like here. Crazy. This one's pretty good, man. I should almost let this ride for a minute.
And competing in.
This guy's name is Willie Nelson. No way, dude. Willie Nelson in the streets here, man.
Sports.
I do think that the way they went about it made it seem like they were trying to gain a vote rather than be with us in that front. Like they were trying to buy our support. And so I do feel like that it was a bit insincere and not authentic.
Sir, how much for the t-shirts?
$5, sir. I want everybody to get one.
Did you make these?
Sir. Yes, sir.
How long did it take you to make these?
Awesome.
For the t-shirts?
$5, sir. I want
$5 only for those shirts. How could he have printed them and even make money after you buy the shirt? Not sure how you do that. He's doing out of the goodness of his heart. I want to take a time out here real quick and say I just checked my phone. I do have a Cash App from Tommy. Appreciate you, Tommy. And as always, Lord Darkington, long time, big time supporter of the channel. Basically a sponsor at this point. Appreciate you, Dork. Let's ride a little more. But if anyone did want to donate, we got the super chats on. We got PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. Get chalked up. I'll get nowhere near Andrew Wilson's $5,000, but we can run it up a little bit. It gets hard on my channel because it's like shadow banned and locked into the same people. I know a lot of people have already given and given quite a few times, so I do appreciate you. But you got to get these new people in if you want to continue to get the donations and stuff. That's where it gets hard. But that's what I want to do here. Summer Drew, I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna blow this shit up. Let's go. Can I at least get to 10K? Can I? Should I just keep streaming until I hit 10K? I think some of these nights where I'm saying I'm gonna go every night. I think I'm gonna take some of these nights where you might not see a stream, but I'm gonna use that night to like make a prepared video. And then maybe you'll see it the next day. I think the way to go is definitely having prepared videos. And I like doing the lives, so I might do the lives and then do like create a whole new video from the live, like not edit the live into a video, but create a whole new video based on the live. And it's just the live is kind of me going over the ideas at first and integrating some of the thoughts from the chats into how I want to speak about these things. And then I can reuse the thumbnail even, or maybe slightly tweak the thumbnail a little bit, double the miles out of it.
I want everybody to get one.
Did you make these?
Sure. Yes, sir.
How long did it take you to make these?
Awesome hours, man. You got to sit up to artwork and everything. You know what I'm saying? It took quite a while. Had to be up all night to have them ready for today.
Man, I pressed a button in Chat GPT, and it made the damn logo and T-shirt for me.
Hey, how long did you plan this out for?
Oh, when I first started hearing about the march, I said, man, we got to bring something down there for the people to put on the show. They ain't got to shout, they can work.
Yeah, I can only see how many are in the chat on the phone, so I just got on the phone. 119 people in the chat. I appreciate everyone that's here, man. On a Sunday night, that's pretty good. Hit that thumbs up, please.
Was that like a month ago, a week ago? Like what's the timeline?
This is black dude in the background. I'm so glad you can see my cursor now. Watch this dude in the background.
My head like a month ago when all this bullshit started, but during the time I just got the money to put it together. You know what I'm saying? I'll take some money to put it together, ink, you know.
How much money are you investing into this if you're selling them for $5? You'd have to be spending like $2 to $3 a shirt max, including the ink and the time to print and everything.
Artwork, what you get shot and how you gonna print it and how many you could afford to print. So that's why I just say I get them out and 5 them out and everybody have.
Is this what you do full-time, print shirts for protests?
Nah, not really. I just know how to silk screen, and when something come up, I jump on it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I mean, I guess that's plausible. If this dude has his own little silk screen in his garage and he's probably just got a box of shirts sitting there he bought a long time ago or something, that's probably plausible to me, actually. And this guy just prints out a shit ton and brings them out there. And even though he's saying for $5, I bet you, but there's plenty of people that just hand him a 10 or 20 and tell him to keep the change.
You're a hustler.
I used to have silk screen shop, but I'm just saying that I'm retired though, but if something come up as advantageous, I put it out there.
Do you do any protests or is it specifically kind of progressive?
One that's come up with, like, I haven't did a protest in a long while, but this one maintains everybody, man. Because this shit is fucked up. This shit is messed up. We got a criminal in the White House. He getting all his criminal buddies in the White House. And people seem like they don't know what's going on.
These blacks got criminal fatigue, shit.
Then now it's affecting everybody. Now everybody, now we got a crazy man out there.
What do you think is the
goddamn crazy ass cracker up in this bitch, bro? Motherfucking president up in here smelling like baloney, y'all. Fucking crack ass cracker.
We're saying Trump has done so far in this current...
Everything, man, everything on his shirt. Everything.
But like what specifically?
Like a gangster, man. He jump in like a gangster, man. He won't take shit from everybody that they done set up throughout the year, like welfare or Social Security, man.
Old ass lady on the walker back here, bro. Look at how old this lady is. Hold on.
Like a gangster, man. He jump in like a gangster.
Look at this lady in the pink, bro. In a damn walker out here. Where did I read this? I can't remember. I think I read it in a chat somewhere. I can't really remember. But somebody said their like grandmother was like in their late 90s and getting all these surgeries, and they asked her, like, how do you even have the will to keep going through all this? She's like, well, I'm just gonna live until someone assassinates Trump. That's her will to live. That's like this lady out here in the pink in the back with this walker. Look how old this bitch is. Take shit from everybody that they done set up throughout the year, like welfare or Social Security. Man, Social Security is your money. You earn it.
Have they taken Social Security yet?
He won't.
When you get to asking these people though, like, obviously they can't answer any. I'm gonna leave this link up. This might be fun to come back to this one. This dude's halfway decent. That's Willie Nelson at Media Willie Nell, making Los Angeles great again. So he's right down there in the mix. Let me actually click his channel and see if he might be like live or something right now.
Can they be? How stupid can they be? At least 50% of them are using Airbnb. Isn't Airbnb part of Dodge too? He's one of the people. How many of them are going to stay next weekend at Airbnb? This is the most stupid group of people I ever seen. What Elon Musk is doing for this country is saving it so people can have Social Security 10 years from now.
I believe you said they're going to have more.
What?
More Social Security. You just announced that.
Absolutely.
Ma'am, where are you from?
I'm originally from Israel, and my husband
Busted, bitch.
is from England.
Yeah, I'm from England, yeah.
We immigrated to this wonderful country.
Okay, this guy's definitely a fed. Sorry, your channel's over now.
Protests and we're here in downtown LA at the ICE protests and protest.
Oh, I gotta skip that one. Said a woman stands naked.
A distinguished U.S. senator is walking around saying, if Trump's bill passes, we're all going to die. Check out Chuck Schumer.
And we all know one thing. Donald Trump is just lying about the bill. Lying about the bill.
Why don't you read the fucking bill?
Well, here's the "We are all going to die" act.
We're all going to die. Well, look, go big or go home, right, Chuck? At least not some of us are going to die. We're all going to die.
Okay, this channel's getting weird. The Israel thing was weird. Let's go back to the Los Angeles protests. I'll go back to the live stream too in a minute. See what's going on. Yeah, here's the bricks. Again, you don't know the source of this. I don't even doubt it, but it's should at least be questioning. Should at least be questioning where those pictures are coming. Damn, this guy looks crazy. Alex Padilla. He says, keep protesting. Why does he look like that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's so much. It's almost, where do we begin? So I think to speak to the protest, what's happening right now, people have asked, what's the message for the folks that are out there demonstrating? And my message is keep protesting. Protest peacefully for sure, but keep protesting because Donald Trump wants one of two things. He either wants us to go away quietly and let him continue to abuse his power and overreach, or he wants folks to, as we've seen the last couple of days, that have exploited the situation to justify his overreaction with bringing in the National Guard. We've heard him threaten bringing in the Marines to restore order. That is not necessary, and it's counterproductive. You know, I've talked to the chiefs.
Again, you see where the Overton window, or where this event here is being used to drive the left to the left. Let them protest. It's just peaceful, even though you see cars burning, police cars are being destroyed. As long as the TV says it's peaceful. And then you saw that white girl, and other people are going to say, man, just route them out, bro. Like, get them the fuck out of there. Alex Jones says Newsom is calling Trump deranged for sending troops to Los Angeles. Meanwhile, the police department in Los Angeles says the protests are peaceful and without incident. Yeah, this looks exactly like what I saw when I was live streaming in Minnesota riots. Look up Newsom here in a minute too, see what Newsom's talking about.
Okay, so I'm out here at the ICE protest, and yeah, I'm literally taking over the 101 freeway. I'm out here on the freeway with them, like, look at this. We are in the freeway. Let me show y'all though. Yeah. Yeah, so the people are, you see them all up here. See now, this is one flag I can get by. The Mexican flag with the American flag. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, these other shit over here. But anyways, let me show y'all what's going on. Where you at? Okay, so
Geechee Barbie, that's who that was. So is that a right wing? I think she might be right wing. Not with that wave. Uh-oh, damn it. That's where you gotta be careful on this fucking...
Okay, so I'm out here at the ICE protest.
Damn it. Is this really them? Yeah, and you don't even know where this shit's coming from, man, these videos. Damn. Lighten them up, bro. Fuck ice, bro. Felt cute. Might protest later. Look at these selfies and shit. It's cringe, bro. I'm gonna cover my face so no one knows who I am, and then I'm gonna take a selfie and post it to my social media. Wild.
After hours of standing off, this situation has now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA. Whoa! You just shut the fuck up! You okay? I'm good. Are you okay?
It's just an Aussie, bro. Don't worry about it. Bounce back. I mean, I think you're gonna see this shit. You're gonna see this shit all summer, all throughout different major cities.
Why good reason? Why good reason? Against you. Man, you want to be? What the fuck is that doing? You want to that's the money shot.
The dude had a fire extinguisher in his hand. I bet he was trying to like put the fire out or something. Look at Routers with the shot there. See, again though, this shit's being promoted by the mainstream media, just like on the Get Chalked Up channel. TB and I talked about they call it swimming, like squeeze bends and all these people racing through the public streets and highways and stuff in New York. Like that shit's being pushed by the algorithm, and then you get more people wanting to try and do it and try to blow up. And the same shit here. You're trying to encourage these people to come down there and create these little viral moments. Damn, $4 gas, bro. Are you serious? One of these motherfuckers are all walking. $4 gas, bro. Motherfuckers played too much COD. Look at the weather. Just like COD, bro. Okay, they have signs that say keep families together, okay. Bring that same energy when you're talking about motherfucking divorce, then you know they're gonna be like, oh, well, the woman deserves to leave. Get half the man's money. That shit's crazy, bro. Let me go back to the current, what's happening right now. Let's go see what's going down. Just go back and forth all night on this shit.
to see in downtown LA, and we'll get to that in a second. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's comments.
I'm almost done with my first cup of wine, man.
On U.S. soil.
I'm gonna crush this and go get another one.
Of protesters, you see them there. This is at Camp Pendleton. More than 4 dozen people there holding up signs at the main gate to Camp Pendleton with slogans such as, quote, "We're on a slippery slope to fascism," and "Your oath is to the Constitution." President.
123 people in the chat. Please go hit that thumbs up, man. Appreciate everyone that's here.
Over the immigration raids on Friday. This coming despite strong objection from the governor of California and the mayor of Los Angeles. In fact, the Newsom administration is going to file a lawsuit perhaps as early as tomorrow to try to prevent that from happening. In the meantime, Patrick Saunders, he's an Air Force veteran. He organized this protest outside Camp Pendleton.
We want to show our support to the military members that work here.
Got the queer shirt on.
We want to kind of remind them of what their duty is to us, but additionally, we want to make it very publicly known that we condemn any sort of action by the administration of using active duty or National Guard troops on U.S. citizens.
U.S. Northern Command confirms 500 Marines from 29 Palms are on what's called prepare to deploy status. That means they're ready to go should they be needed, and quote, to augment and support the DOD's protection of federal property and personnel.
They're going to send the gay Marines first. That's the cannon fodder.
Now at downtown Los Angeles, still spot fires here and there. Still
nothing going on. Look at this shit.
Gathering mainly at intersections, either blocking them, barricading them, or setting fires. There have been some continued skirmishes with police, and there was a guy in a minivan that started driving around erratically and nearly took some people out. He's under arrest. Some 10 other people, at least, that we know of as of earlier this evening are under arrest by the LAPD.
Barely anybody out there.
Arrested by
shit,
the
I thought California had more juice than this shit.
As we continue to watch,
they went out early. It ain't even late out there. Maybe it's not late enough. Maybe that's the problem.
Jory Rand, you've been covering this all day, and you've kind of watched this evolve throughout the day. And what did you notice, and what struck you?
It seems that tensions are rising and falling as we go throughout the day, and it seems like there's a group of troublemakers who, when things are calming down, they start things back up again. We see things calm down, then we see 5 Waymo cars lit on fire. We see that start to calm down. We see a barricade situation.
I'm gonna go grab this drink.
Furniture
go grab one more
Grand
drink.
Park. We see that calm down, and then we see protesters
stand by.
all over the city.
I'll be right back.
BRB.
BRB.
This gentleman, that's something I've never seen before. Typically, when we see a gathering like this, you do see people start to treat this like a street takeover and start doing donuts. So when you first see that, you just think that person is part of it. They clearly were not, as they drew the attention of those gathered there and then took off through the city in what we have seen. But again, it is a group of people who have been allowed to do this. We saw the protesters who were on the overpass of the 101 freeway. Once the 101 was cleared and it looked like order had been restored, those people were allowed to stay on top of the 101 freeway, and they started pouring things on top of those CHP vehicles that were parked below, and that was allowed to continue for hours. Now,
that was a mistake, clearly, by law enforcement. You don't leave people, you know, maybe they didn't have the resources. I shouldn't say it was a mistake, but it turned out it didn't work well.
It did not work out well, and you look at the numbers of the protesters out there, the numbers of law enforcement, and what happens if they decide to go in and make a move on these people. What's going to happen? Is that going to start a really violent confrontation with authorities? Is that going to start a panic where you start sending people running through a situation where you have a potential trampling of a crowd? It's a very tough situation for them to be in, and the fact that they left those vehicles exposed and the protesters in place on the overpass made it for a very disastrous situation.
It is a thin line between enforcement and provocation. It is a line that the LAPD and other local police agencies have trod, sometimes successfully, sometimes catastrophically badly, for decades, dating back to 1965.
And
Watts riots.
It's actually been impressive to see some of the restraint we've seen from these different jurisdictions, because they have been under siege all day with projectiles and bottles and rocks and fireworks and smoke canisters, and very little response from the LAPD. Very few arrests. We've talked about, what, 27 throughout the day from 2 different jurisdictions. There could easily have been hundreds of arrests given the behavior we have seen on the streets of Los Angeles.
What they're trying to do is get the streets cleared, restore order, as quickly as possible and as thoroughly as possible. They're having trouble doing that tonight because the crowd is dispersing and going from place to place. If, as Bruce...
Just drone these hey, get the Ukrainian drones. Get them out here. Let's go. Yo, man. How many we got in here? Gotta like refresh my thing every time. 127 in the chat. Keep begging you guys. Hit that thumbs up, man. I gotta take this one down, unfortunately. Hip slip.
Live now, what's happening in downtown LA. These are pictures from Air 7, Spring Street and 2nd Street.
Weak, bro. Ain't nothing happening. Let's go here. I want to see what Gavin Newsom's talking about. Newsom. What's he saying?
We provided for hundreds and hundreds of thousands.
No. And about this.
Happened, and then the National Guard was federalized. So they're working for the U.S. Army, not for the California State National Guard.
Do we need them?
Do we need them? Well, looking at it tonight, this thing has gotten out of control. Before I could answer that, I'd have to know more about what their capabilities are, what their role is intended to be able to make that determination. But we have great cops in Southern California here that work together all the time. So we have tremendous capability here. To say that we would go to that right away, I'd say we wouldn't have been there yet. Looking at the violence tonight, I think we got to make a reassessment.
Okay, what is Newsom saying? Let's see, man. Hold on.
Max has been here 10 years. The fear, the horror, the hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy.
It's like Earthworm Jim.
You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry.
He's putting on some tough guy act.
To be so clear, but
he's trying to appeal to that punch Nazis lady that we saw earlier.
That kind of bloviating is exhausting. So Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
The perception is there's a lot of
Max has been here 10 years.
And arrest him. Maybe Trump will arrest him. He'll say he's arresting his political adversaries. They arrested Trump. They put charges on Trump. Yeah, New Edge Design says WWE Clown Show. Exactly. This is an exact WWE promo right here. Like, arrest me, Mr. Trump. Got his little catchphrases and everything.
Years.
Trying to prove he's tough now. Type Gavin Newsom. I thought there'd be more like interviews or something with him.
Get your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with.
That's his new shit is arrest me, arrest me.
I am sick and tired of hearing about how wonderful
This is 2010. Yeah, talking about that high-speed rail. I was talking about that earlier in the stream. That's what that was. When those California fires happened, the truther said it was to clear ground for the California high-speed rail. That's what this clip's about. It says in 2010, he says they're going to get it right, and by 2025, they're too far behind schedule and over budget.
the transportation system is in France and Japan, and have you been to Shanghai, or do you know what they're doing in Beijing? Well, finally, California is going to get it right with this new high-speed rail, and that northern terminus will happen here. And this project, I am sick and tired of hearing.
Yeah, so in 2025, they say they need an additional $1 billion every year for the next 20 years to turn it around. He looks like a... Looks like a villain from a Batman movie or something. Yeah, look at the next guy. The show here is Joker. Well, there's got to be better Newsom videos than this. Hold on. Stand by, live truthering. UT's not around. I can steal his catchphrase.
invoke the Insurrection Act?
Depends on whether or not there's an insurrection. No, but you have violent people, and we're not going to let them get away with it. I think that you're going to see some very strong law and order. Last night in Los Angeles, we watched it very closely. There was a lot of violence there. There was a lot of violence, and it could have gotten much worse. And you have an incompetent governor. Just take a look at the train stations that he's building. Like 20 times over budget. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. So I did call him the other night. I said, look, you got to take care of this. Otherwise, I'm sending in the troops.
This must be, the showdown they're building up to. Bernie Sanders is chiming in with his 2 cents.
Look, Donna, we have a president who was moved.
No, JT, no, EBT has not shown up, at least online again. Like maybe he's just taking a break online. Hopefully he's spending time with his family or loved ones or something. It's been well over a week since any of us have heard from him.
Moving this country rapidly into authoritarianism. He is suing media who criticizes him. He is going after law firms who have clients who were against him. He's going after universities that teach courses that he doesn't like. He's threatening to impeach judges who rule against him, and he's usurping the powers of the United States Congress. This guy wants all of the power. He does not believe in the Constitution. He does not believe in the rule of law. My understanding is that the governor of California, the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, did not request the National Guard, but he thinks he has a right to do anything he wants. And I would say that to a large degree, the future of this country rests with a small number of Republicans in the House and Senate who know better, who do know what the Constitution is about. And it's high time they stood up for our Constitution and the rule of law. You know, we just celebrated a few days ago, June 6th, the American landing at Normandy, which began the invasion of Europe to defeat fascism and Nazism. Those guys died. They gave up their lives to defend democracy, not to have an all-powerful ruler in the United States of America.
He's using the language right there to tie in with that No Kings protest coming up June 14th. They don't have like Newsom. I thought for sure he'd have. I thought for sure Newsom would have some interviews and sound bites and stuff. Interesting. Let's go back to we're gonna cut back to the live feed here for a minute. And I want to go back to X, look up a little bit of what happened maybe yesterday and get into what happened in Minneapolis. I saw there was some shit going down there. And maybe we can talk about lizard people.
Word peaceful. And to declare an unlawful assembly, they are either already breaking and destroying things or violence is imminent. It's about to go off. And so the incident commander or whoever's on the front line there who has the decision-making authority can give the command to give an unlawful assembly. And then people fail to leave, then they could be arrested for that. Now, I heard earlier on some other channels, maybe it was yours, about the issue of people wearing masks. Why do they need a mask? It's not illegal to wear a mask, but it's illegal to wear a mask after you've committed a different crime, and that being the failure to disperse. And then you can be arrested and charged with 185 of the California Penal Code, which is wearing a mask in the commission of another type of crime.
Increase in California. They are taking advantage.
Yeah, that's from almost 4 or 5 days ago. Not what I'm looking for. Let me go into Minneapolis. Minneapolis protest. I know they were out in the street.
Yo, don't fucking touch her.
That fucking druggie. These fucking punks are too big for their britches. They need to get fucking stomped out.
There you have people here pushing the cops right here. And now they took them.
Fuck you! Get your fucking hands off! Police! Look what they're doing!
This lady in the blue here just barking like a dog. You ain't gonna do shit, bitch. Oh, it's June 3rd, but still, it's an ICE agent. They're trying to block the ICE agent. There was an ICE protest. Let's see.
Chaos erupted in South Minneapolis as federal law enforcement agencies, including
And this is a few days ago. This is like 4 days ago.
FBI, ICE, DEA, and ATF served high-risk search warrants related to drugs.
Yo.
ICE, DEA, and ATF.
This dude flopped. This dude flopped. They barely touched this dude. He just went flying and bumped right into the car.
DEA and ATF.
Look how gently he touches this guy.
FBI,
Watch this
ICE,
shit.
DEA, and ATF served high-risk search warrants.
He's gonna sue. Now he's gonna sue Minneapolis police for $1.5 million.
Related to drugs and money laundering at this Mexican restaurant on East Lake Street.
Oh, I know where that is. Shit.
Hundreds of protesters gathered, some clashing with law enforcement, believing it was an ICE raid.
I had people hugging me because they're scared. I feel we can do better. I feel we can do better as a country.
Minneapolis
Shut
Mayor
up, black
David Frye
bitch.
and Minneapolis police say what happened was not related to immigration enforcement, and no arrests were made during the operation.
Regardless of...
So that dude threw a trash
During
can.
the operation, Minneapolis police say what happened was
So like the whole United States has devolved into a Geraldo Rivera show at this point, basically, where they're throwing chairs and shit on Geraldo and yelling at each other and arguing and calling each other names. America is a Geraldo Rivera show from the 80s now.
militarized. You know, they deployed tear gas on community members. Whatever was happening is completely unacceptable.
Ella Hagan from Minneapolis says she was tear gassed and is enraged by what she witnessed.
I think we're standing united.
It's a white guilt bitch. She can't wait to meet a beta bucks provider, suck him dry for a few years of his money, and then divorce him and get that 18 years of child support.
In the rejection of this
Geraldo, heart of the hair, he says. I've never heard that one. That's fucking funny. Geraldo.
systemic violence.
Standing together as tensions and some confrontations escalate.
I got knocked down. I still haven't really, my adrenaline is still really high up there.
Andrea Stearns from Minneapolis says she was helping direct traffic to keep other protesters safe when a driver hit her.
And he stopped. And then I had my hands on the roof.
One of the most... It says it's a hoax. Hold on, what's this say?
Absurd things played out today in Minneapolis involving law.
I got rocking that Echo still in 2025, bro. Actually, it's coming back. So this dude might be a thrifter. This dude might be into the vintage gear.
Law enforcement and protesters and government officials. It was insane. Basically, rumors started swirling that ICE was in Minneapolis and that they were carrying out a huge deportation operation. So a bunch of these leftists and Marxists in Minneapolis started sending each other messages, and they started to show up and gather in front of where this actual law enforcement action was occurring. And people were like, ICE is here. The funny thing is, it wasn't ICE. It literally was law enforcement agencies. There were federal agents along with Minneapolis police doing crowd control, and I believe it was Department of Homeland Security was also there. But what they were doing is they were actually serving a search warrant and looking for drugs and other organized criminal activities. The thing that's so insane is that from this rumor and people taking pictures that said ICE, it's because like the person, the law enforcement official, their arm was like bent. So it said police, P-O-L-I-C-E, but because of the way that their arm is showing, it says I-C-E. People were losing their mind. Now here's the thing.
This black dude got Clarence Thomas, Ronald Reagan, and that Thomas Sowell dude on his wall. She's based.
I'm in favor of Donald Trump's mass deportation.
And these pictures on the back wall prove like you know, black people can reach, like, anyone that says anything bad about them, they're able to reach the highest levels of like intellect and jobs. Guys like Clarence Thomas and this Thomas Sowell dude, like a super intellectual. Even on YouTube, you see it, Days of Noah and other guys, like, but it's not like a prevalent thing in their community. So I'm not sure what the disconnect is, or what's got to happen to get them more into like being intellectuals. And I don't know if it's something that's got to happen younger for these people, or what. I'm not really sure where it is, the type of schooling or what. But they definitely need some kind of jolt in their community to get them back on the right track.
Deportation plan. I'm one of the majority of Americans, because President Donald J. Trump won the popular vote, who supports mass deportations. But Minneapolis specifically, they are a sanctuary city, and they have openly said they are not going to help federal law enforcement enforce federal law. So yes, all of the rapists, murderers, gang members, people that have done terrible, horrible, awful things.
And people wearing Sean John and Echo in 2025. They're going to stay there in Minneapolis. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hate to beat a dead horse, but it's just hard for people to comprehend. I think that Minnesota and Minneapolis is just as bad as any of these major cities. Okay, where's the one red? Hold on, I'll find it. Here we go. This is the one. This is the one I was looking for. Minneapolis went crazy when Reddit leaked an anti-ICE raid.
You could have stopped that.
How did you know this was happening?
Reddit.
Reddit said it must be true. Shit, I was on r/goon cave, and they said ICE was showing up in Minneapolis, dog. Not on my watch, dog. I got in the goon mobile and raced down there. Yeah, ESG, the state where George Floyd is from. Yeah, dude, it's a fucking complete disaster shithole. I grew up there. It was a nice place. And then, like, slowly over my lifetime, so over 40 years before I left, like, it devolved into a shithole. But especially, like, the last 20 years, like, it accelerated rapidly. White trash throwing trash. Geraldo Rivera live in the streets. Geraldo on ice. Where's the Proud Boys, dude? We need like some pushback from the Proud Boys. Or obviously the police ain't gonna do shit. I guarantee the police will look the other way though. The police are tired of this shit. They just want to keep their job and shit. Have some Proud Boys or somebody come out and clear this shit out. Vague Hiss Records. You're the #1 chatter in here tonight. Can anyone dethrone Vague Hiss Records? Make sure you're subscribed if you're just here hanging out. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my panel channel at getchalkedup here on YouTube. I'll go live on there tomorrow night, most likely, unless something else pops. I kind of like this chill stream format where I don't have to have like some preparation, but you need a big topic like this where you can just kind of click around. I like the pressure of the preparation. Yeah, Dems are the vote deniers, or what do they call them? Shit. Let's go back into this and look at what is it called? What's going down? Yeah, and then the same people that said January 6th was an insurrection, they'll say this is a peaceful protest. Pretty crazy. Yo, bro, if you ain't gonna call in the drones, call in the motherfucking F-35 or something. Get some napalm on this shit. Can we get a napalm strike? I thought this would be a tranny. Oh, okay. This is the Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass, was a Fidel Castro supporter. She was a member of the Venceramos Brigade and made 7 trips to Cuba during the 70s when it was illegal for Americans to do so. Later, she traveled there with Obama in 2016. So, exact same playbook as Minnesota, where they have Tim Walz, who's a member of the Chinese Communist Party, or at least has direct ties to it, went to China every year. And then I showed on another stream where there's Communist Party members have a business front in Minneapolis, a storefront and everything, and their duties include like transporting hazardous materials and everything. The CCP and all these people are actively, involved in these major cities and bringing this shit down. So it's hard for me because my whole shit is like everything's bullshit and it's world's a stage and they're all actors and everything. But at the same time, you do have these real life actors that are just simply pawns of Satan, right? This lady here sold her soul. She's a pawn of Satan, and Satan's got her on the little strings and plays her like a puppet. And if she wants to no longer cooperate with that, hey, Satan's just gonna go to the next person over here and just play them like a puppet. There's a list 100 long at least, people that will do the stuff that someone won't do. But I do believe ultimately it is all social engineering. They know where they want to get to before they start, and then these people are the useful idiots that are used to achieve that goal. So it can kind of be both. Here's Target in Los Angeles. Everything's locked up. I got a thing pushed to my phone today about Target, like one of those articles that pushes to your phone, and then it was like, all the Target supporters now no longer support them because of things like this, because now the Target's all in disarray and it's not as clean as it used to be. There's not as many employees and all the things are locked up. And they're mad that Target walked back their DEI policies and now they're going to Costco, they said, because Costco's clean and they still support the DEI. I mean, have you ever shopped at Target, bro? This shit is so expensive. I don't know how anyone, but it's definitely, when you go there too, it's like targeted to single cat ladies. There's like a small little meal, like a small chunk of salmon, a prepared meal, a small chunk of salmon with three little things of asparagus in there. It's like $21. Like, who's out here buying this shit, dude? But yeah, Target's going downhill fast. It's just too expensive. If you really love diversity, you really love inclusion, you really love equity, go to fucking Walmart. You're going to see everybody under the sun there. There's a Walmart by me. We call it the Chernobyl Walmart. Everyone in there is a fucking freak, dude. Their faces are melting off. All kinds of crazy shit. These motherfuckers look insane, bro. Let me pull up a video. I never made this video public. It's a video I have of from that Walmart that I call Chernobyl Walmart. Oh man, it's a fucking insane thing. This guy was there shopping. Hold on. Where's the voice? Hey, we gotta get him. Hold on. Hey, do you support Elon Musk and Doge? He's wearing a shirt that says vegan. A mask. This is like a month ago or something. Wearing a mask, and then I forget what his sign says. It says watch something on Netflix, but it's like some vegan documentary. So this dude walks around this fucking Chernobyl Walmart with this fucking like sign, holding it up everywhere he goes, wearing a mask like this. And then I swear to God, after this encounter I had here, I went in, I grabbed something real quick from Walmart, and I got out, and we left. And we saw, I can't even make this shit up. We saw the same guy driving, hanging this exact sign out his window while he's driving. He's got his hand out the window holding up some sign that says watch this on Netflix. Do you support Doge? He wouldn't answer me. Whatever it's, I forget the name of it. It's some vegan documentary. It's kind of hard to read it on the screen. That's what his sign says. So he walks through this fucking Walmart. Hey, we got to get him. Hold on. You want DEI, motherfucker? You want equality and inclusion? Go to fucking Walmart, motherfucker, and you'll save some money. Fucking shit's insane, bro. He's just got water in the cart. This motherfucker's hungry, bro. Hanging out the window, holding that sign. This dude's just hungry as fuck, dude. Like stamping his foot. look at how aggressive he stamps his foot. Ooh, fuck you, Doge man. Dare you ask me about Doge? Heart of Aries says Walmart got the big booty Latinos. Not the ones by me, man. Well, there's the one by the beach, which is like normal people. I wouldn't even say it's like glamorous people. It's like a normal Walmart, though. Like all kinds of people in pajamas. Then there's this specific one that's also kind of by me. It's just mutants that are in there. I do not understand it, bro. It's like people with their face melted, like walking down the Toxic Avenger looking motherfuckers. I'm not even kidding. The whole store is like that. It's fucking insane. And the craziest part of that one, the Chernobyl Walmart, it's like the nicest Walmart I've ever been in. When you go inside of it, like the facility, it's fucking nice, dude. It's like brand. They must have recently remodeled it in the last few years. It's fucking pimp in there. And it's the only Walmart I've ever been to where I was like looking for like the price scanner, which they don't have anymore. You got to have the app. Only Walmart I've ever been in. I was kind of like looking around. Some lady ran up to me, a worker, and said, can I help you? Are you looking for the price? And she scanned it for me and helped me. Like no one's ever helped me at Walmart ever. I'm in Walmart fucking 5 times a week. All right, we're going to go back to the live feed real quick. Make sure nothing's popping off that we're missing. And then we're going to go to, hold on, let's go to Maxine Waters first.
To stop here where the guns are. I want you all to take pictures of these guns and let people know that they're in our city with guns. And I'm sure they have orders to shoot and kill. I don't know, but otherwise they wouldn't have guns.
One question, Representative Ms. Waters. If there's one statement that or a message that you can send to Donald Trump, what is that message here today?
My message to Donald Trump is you are a cruel.
See, here's the tagline to this, or the caption to this video says, she exposes the plot. She's demanding they give citizenship to illegal rioters. In Los Angeles, Democrats are importing voters. So if the shit's all real, and maybe I'm a schizo truther, and I'm willing to accept that. I mean, it seems pretty logical. That's what you'd do. You'd set up a CCP shop or whatever in all these different states, and slowly import these people in and get them to run for local city council and all that shit. And then they, as that momentum builds, they go climb higher in the government ranks and stuff, and more of their people come in. That's what happened exactly in Minnesota.
Human beings, and that you're using the poorest people in the land, the most vulnerable people in the land, to promote your politics. You are wrong. We know what this is all about. We have people who are immigrants here who are trying to seek a better living, who have come from places where they have experienced this kind of thing.
Okay, is this blonde girl behind her? Is that the lady we saw earlier, the blonde girl that was... Isn't that the same blonde girl we saw earlier that was saying, let me get this straight, you're here burning flags and shit? Looks exactly like her. Bam. Shit's a psyop. I thought Aunt Jemima got canceled. New Edge Designs. Fucking crazy, bro. I want to go to the feed right now. Nothing, man. They all went in. They all drunk and went home. New E40 dropped. They had to go home and watch that.
The authority to use U.S. military in that situation against U.S. citizens on U.S. soil. But the caveat, of course, there needs to be an insurrection against the U.S. government happening. At least
Let me
twice
go back
today,
a little bit.
needs
Hold
to
on.
be against U.S. Gave the president the insurrection on U.S.
Is he talking
soil.
about Obama?
Has the deployed to the streets is a distinct possibility, using Marines from Camp Pendleton to be deployed to the streets of Los Angeles. Now, normally, this would not be something the president has the authority to do. You cannot put U.S. troops on U.S. soil against U.S. citizens. However, there is a clause. The Insurrection Act, more than 200 years ago, gave the president the authority to use U.S. military in that situation against U.S. citizens on U.S. soil. But the caveat, of course, there needs.
Okay, this is a good segue into a link I've had up here. This whole stream, I haven't got into it yet, is Obama's most fateful decision. The 2012 National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, will signal the death knell of our constitutional republic and the formal inception of a legalized police state in the United States. So what Obama contributed is going to lead to what Donald Trump does. Remember, they were all buddy-buddy recently, hooting and hollering and giggling it up with each other. The bill would allow federal officials to take steps based on suspicions only, without having to demonstrate to any judicial official there is solid evidence to justify their actions. No reasonable proof will any longer be required for the government to suspend an American citizen's constitutional rights. Detentions can follow mere memberships, past or present, in suspected organizations. Government agents would have unchecked authority to arrest, interrogate, and indefinitely detain law-abiding citizens if accused of potentially posing a threat to national security. Further, military personnel anywhere in the world would be authorized to seize U.S. citizens without due process. As Senator Lindsey Graham put it, under this act, the U.S. homeland is considered a battlefield. What is at stake is more than the Constitution itself, as central as that document has been to the American experiment in democracy. What is at stake is nothing short of the basic fundamentals of Western jurisprudence. Central to civilized law is the notion that a person cannot be held without a charge and cannot be detained indefinitely without a trial. These principles go back to Greco-Roman times, were developed by English common law beginning in 1215 with the Magna Carta, and were universalized by the Enlightenment in the century before the American Constitution and Bill of Rights were fought for and adopted as the supreme law of the land. For more than 2 centuries of constitutional development since then, the United States has been heralded as the light of the world precisely because of the liberties it enshrines in its Declaration of Independence and Constitution as inalienable. Now it seems as if the events of 9/11 have been determined to be of such threatening magnitude that our national leaders feel justified to abrogate in their entirety the very inalienable principles upon which our republic was founded. At the heart of this act is the most fundamental question we must ask ourselves as a free people. Is 9/11 worth the republic? The question screaming at us through this bill is whether the war on terror is a better model around which to shape our destiny than our constitutional liberties. It compels the question of whether we remain an ongoing experiment in democracy, pioneering new frontiers in the name of liberty and justice for all, or have we become a national security state, having financially corrupted and militarized our democracy to such an extent that we define ourselves, as Sparta did, only through the exigencies of war. Within a week of 9/11, the Use of Military Force Act was approved, which authorized the full application of U.S. military power against, quote, terrorism. A month later, Congress overwhelmingly passed the Patriot Act that began the legislative assault on the Bill of Rights. The First Amendment right to freedom of association was gutted as federal officials were authorized to prosecute citizens for alleged association with undesirable groups. The Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable search and seizure was compromised by permitting indefinite detentions of those suspected of terrorism. 14th Amendment right to privacy was obliterated as unchecked surveillance was authorized to access personal records, financial dealings, and medical records of any citizen at any time without any judicial oversight or permission. Evidence obtained extrajudicially could be withheld from defense attorneys. This is all coming to fruition here too in 2025 with the Palantir being contracted to create one singular database of all these different data points. On the last stream, we talked about 314 different data points on each American to be aggregated under one system. The Patriot Act also criminalized domestic terrorism. It stated that civil conduct can be considered domestic terrorism if such actions aim to influence by intimidation or coercion, or intimidate or coerce a civilian population. Put in plain language, that means that actions such as Occupy Wall Street can be designated as domestic terrorism by federal authorities without judicial oversight and dealt with outside the due process of the constitutional protections. 2 weeks after the passage of the Patriot Act on November 13th, President Bush issued Military Order No. 1, authorizing the executive branch and military to capture, kidnap, or otherwise arrest non-citizens anywhere in the world if suspected of engaging in terroristic activities. Proof was not required. It stipulated that trials, if held, would be military tribunals, not civil courts, and that evidence obtained by torture was permissible. No right of appeal was afforded to those convicted. Numerous executive orders, findings, and national and homeland security presidential directives followed, further consolidating the militarization of due process under the law and enabling the executive branch to act without legal constraint after it has defined a person or group as potentially engaging in, quote, terrorist activity. A year later, in 2002, the Homeland Security Act was passed for the first time, integrated all U.S. intelligence agencies, both domestic and foreign, into a single interactive network under the president. The act gave those intelligence agencies complete freedom to collect any and all data on anyone in the United States and working with allies abroad to access complete information on anyone anywhere in the world, working closely with local police, intelligence agencies, and the corporate sector. This dissolved the distinctions between domestic and foreign spying and made more ambiguous the distinction between domestic and foreign terrorism. Quote. The next major step took place in 2006 when Congress passed the Military Commissions Act that effectively abrogated habeas corpus for domestic and foreign enemies alike, stating any person is punishable who aids, abets, counsels, commands, or procures material support for alleged terrorist groups. One of the most basic principles of both our democracy and our civilization, that a person cannot be held without being charged, was surrendered, and done so by substantial majorities in both houses. On the same day in 2007, NDAA was passed, which amended the 1807 Insurrection Act and the 1878 Posse Comitatus Act, prohibiting U.S. military personnel from acting upon U.S. citizens within the U.S. borders. Not only was anything allowable in pursuit of, quote, terrorists, but their military was authorized to conduct operations inside the homeland in their pursuit. Now comes the 2012 NDAA, which completes the process and thus serves as the coup de grace for a democratically voted metamorphosis from republic to national security state, puts the final nail in the coffin of the Constitution by designating the entire United States as essentially the same battlefield in the war on terror as Iraq or Afghanistan, and authorizes the executive branch and the military to take whatever actions they consider legitimate against any human being anywhere on planet Earth, civilian or enemy combatant, and to do so without any judicial oversight or constitutional constraint. If the act is passed, the Bill of Rights will no longer protect American citizens from their government. The Constitution will no longer be the law of the land. Thanks, Obama. Crazy.
have experienced this kind of thing
I need a drink
that
after
he's
that.
doing here today. People who work every day, people who are paying taxes, who are raising their families, who are supporting education, they should not be treated this way. They should be given an opportunity to tell their story, whom they are, and why they're here, and ask the United States to please do what the Constitution allows us to do.
And the libs will love that. Or, I'm sorry, the Republicans will love to put these libs in prison or anything, as long as they can blame it on Obama. They can say, well, Obama signed the law, so.
That it's happening with right now alongside.
No, I think that the president has not been able to live up to the threat that he used during his campaign, where he was going to get millions of them out of here. And I think it's come to the point where he thinks he's got to show something. But also, his ridiculousness has taken over the armed services to celebrate his birthdays coming up. And people are saying, are you going to spend millions of dollars celebrating your birthday using the armed services to do it? And I think that adds to it. All of this is coming to the forefront now.
And Congresswoman, how should the city of LA and the state of California react to this? What's the smart play here?
All of the elected officials in this city should be on the street. The mayor should be on the street. The city council should be on the street. Everybody should be on the street. All of the state elected officials. All of us in Congress. We're supposed to be in Congress tomorrow, but I want you to know I'm trying to stop him from getting richer and richer on crypto. The more money he has, the more powerful he has, the more he will elect people. So.
Yeah, I'll give it up to this bitch. She's batshit nutty, but she is out there. She's out there in the street. She's doing something. There's another video of her earlier that she was getting ran off. Let me see if I can pull that up.
No, I want you to. Hello, hello, hello. Congresswoman Waters, I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, we're lobbying securely now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public affairs office.
I need to get in.
What are you hoping to do, Congresswoman?
I just want to see David Werta. Right.
Would a congressperson normally be able to enter the...
Normally, yes.
What is happening here?
Well, there were some of the authorities, I don't know who they were, and I'm trying to get in to see David Werta, who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU local union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back to my office about what's happening.
Yeah, this bitch is nutty as fuck. This bitch is nutty, bro. Eeyore. It says Eeyore if he was 105 years old. What did she look like when she was young? She's slinging some heat. Young Maxine Waters. Oh my God. That can't be real. My goodness. Maxine. Maxine the Dream Waters.
The majority of basically whites in this country
she's a fucking
willing
nut.
to accept a dishonorable human being, someone who has been convicted of 34 felonies, someone who has been openly and brazenly racist, someone who has, talked about his love for Putin and Kim Jong-un and made some statements favorable to Hitler. It doesn't matter.
Well, this is all why you don't like him, but why has America voted for him?
Racism is the basic point. People don't like to talk about racism, but the fact of the matter is the majority of his votes are...
I love to talk about racism. You know who I should reach out to him, bro. I would really love to talk to Daisy Noah about the race issue in this country. Racism, black fatigue. I would love to hear like a super educated person that gets the nuance, that gets all the different aspects of, this all the different psyops that are being run. I would love to hear and be able to pick that dude's brain about race and racism. I'm not sure if that's something he'd be comfortable with, but yo, Days of Noah, if you're watching, hit me up. We can promote your upcoming documentary. Not that you need my little channel to promote it, but I know he watches sometimes. He called into one of the streams on Toilet Boar's little channel, less than 1,000 subs, so he's over there watching. He might be here watching. I think that would actually be an excellent stream because I'm not scared to talk about any of these race issues, black, Jew, whatever, circumcision, any of these topics that they consider like too hot to talk about. To me, that's like a red flag to run to those topics and talk about them. Like, why are there these certain ideas that are supposedly like blacklisted that you can't talk about? Very weird to me. Then anything else is allowed. Men playing in women's sports, that's allowed, but how dare you question a certain event in history or something? Very bizarre to me. It almost like reveals itself just through that. David Polk says Days propagates the victim narrative. I don't know if I don't know if I'd agree 100% with that, but he does say, I heard him on that last one where he did a stream with a couple of the black guys. I want to put the words in his mouth because I don't remember the exact way he said it, but it was something along the lines of, you know, whenever anyone sees me, they just see that I'm black. When I'm out in public, I know that they see that I'm black. Something along those lines. Probably chopping it up a little bit. But doesn't that just mean that when he sees people, he sees that they're white? That's kind of what I don't think I'm saying it exactly how he said it. I wish I could remember. But the way it hit me was like, yeah, doesn't that mean he sees like white people everywhere he goes? I don't know. I have a lot of respect for Days, and I wouldn't be, you know, like trying to shit on him or get him on some like gotchas or something. I would just like to hear like I said, that he gets the nuance. He understands this Carmelo Anthony story, the guy that stabbed one of the twins. That's most likely not a real story. When that story happened, like right before I had heard of that story in my feed, like the day before, maybe even the same day, they were pushing a story to my feed that the basketball NBA player Carmelo Anthony was going to go into the Hall of Fame. So same day or day before, the story was pushed to my feed like multiple times, and then the next day there's a kid called Carmelo Anthony, but this time with a K, stabbing like the white twin at the track meet or whatever it was. And now they're, you know, the attorney is beefing with the dad and this and that and the other. Like these are like race baiting psyops in my opinion. And then he sees that, like the fact that someone can see that and know and see through that. That's the kind of person I want to talk to about these kind of ideas. Yo. Oh, is this dates, bro? These are raisins. I love dates. My favorite things ever is dates, bro. What the fuck is that?
Use it.
Oh, it's a little filter.
As a way to enhance his position with all of those right wingers out there who do not.
All right, let's go back. Let's go back to Los Angeles. See what's going down, man. You know it's looked like they kind of dispersed and kind of ended for tonight. They need some like celebrity. See, it was that same bitch. Look, because she had the earbuds in the ear. The lady that was walking behind Maxine Waters. Look, that's just her.
All right.
She's in a black shirt with the earbuds. Look, she has the white earbuds. Emily Saves America. So she's there with some group. Look at this. Is the same bitch. Which one was it? She was like on a corners. This one. Probably scrubbing through it too fast here. Isn't it? This was the one for sure. Try it again. Hold on. slower. Stand by. Stand by. It was the same bitch. Right there with her at the same time, and the same cameraman. Both filming both of them. You know, I can't lie though. If I saw Maxine Waters somewhere, if I was out at some protest, I'd go get in the fucking shot and follow her around. Okay, here we go. Right here. She's got the earbuds in right here. She has like a blue shirt. On the other one, she had a black shirt. So it's like a blue.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, she has a black shirt underneath with like a blue button up denim shirt. Yeah, that's definitely her. Look.
All right, so I'm seeing the protests going on in LA. All right.
Emily Saves America. It's a TikTok channel though. Let me see if it's on here. If I can find her in that same denim shirt. Well, I don't see the blue denim. I mean, unless all white people look the exact same. Emily is Mossad, someone said. Yeah. Has to be the same person. I mean, I guess white people can look alike. Yeah, you're Mossad. You ain't out here looking like this, talking about MAGA and shit. Get the fuck out of here. Not without some man pushing you in that direction. Okay, another thing I wanted to reach out about is I want to look into a couple more things. Yeah, we 2 hours in, y'all. Hit the thumbs up. How many people I got in the chat here? I got 111 people. But how many thumbs up we got? We have 51 thumbs up, unless my thing's not accurate. Take a second here while I'm regrouping. Hit the thumbs up if you could. I'm pushing through this here, bro. It's Summer Drew. Let's go. Let's go. We go into the Los Angeles lizard people. What y'all know about this one? What do you all know about this one? I bet a lot of you have heard of this shit. It was like a newspaper article in the 1930s from Los Angeles talking about lizard people that live under the city. Lizard people's catacomb city hunted. Here we go. LA Mag. They're going to have an article on it. Elon Musk didn't invent the idea of drilling holes into Los Angeles. George Warren Shufeldt did it first. One of the more colorful urban legends of LA is that the lizard people, an advanced race of human who created an underground city here some 5,000 years ago. According to the story, some incalculable riches and gold tablets with the origins of human civilization carved onto them were just waiting to be discovered by some savvy treasure hunter. This super race, allegedly referred to the Mayans, had purportedly fled a catastrophic meteor shower and created several such communities along the Pacific coast, including one in our Deer Basin, this LA Magazine. The so-called lizard people were so intellectually and technologically advanced that they used mysterious chemicals to dig a network of some 285 tunnels equipped with vast chambers, large enough to accommodate 1,000 families who lived off of a store of food and water placed there by the tribe. Damn, I think Archaics is onto something. The underground dumbs, the elites. Bam. I'm an errant now. Officially. This story, loosely drawn from a Hopi Indian myth by a tribesman called Chief Greenleaf, was told to a geophysicist and mining engineer named George Warren Shufeldt in 1933. As it turned out, Shufeldt had invented what he called an radio X-ray machine, which he believed could detect underground tunnels. Add to that the promise of an ancient sheepskin map held by two other treasure seekers, and you have a tale that went viral by 1933 standards. Shufield's quest for the lizard people's golden treasures were picked up and followed closely by the Los Angeles Times and in turn the Associated Press, which spread Shufield's research for the lost catacombs and their inhabitants all across America. The entire city, appropriately shaped like a lizard, reached from Elysian Park, the Lizard's Head, to today's Central Library, the tip of the tail. I think the idea is they're not actually lizards, reptilian shapeshifters, but it's like an advanced, technologically and intellectually advanced race, and they live in a city where the shape of the city, like roadways or whatever, is shaped like a lizard, from what I remember of the story. Shufield swore up and down that he had discovered the exact locations of 1,900 square feet of tunnels, rooms with 9,000 feet of floor space, and 16 places where gold was stored by using his radio X-ray machine. He created this map of the passages of the surface of Fort Moore Hill. After getting permission from the county board of supervisors, he began to dig up on North Hill Street, overlooking Sunset, Spring, and North Broadway. That was watched like an engineering soap opera by folks in the grip of the Depression. The wildly speculative newspaper reports insisted that buried treasure was Spanish gold-plated from the colonial period, and that the crew felt they were ready to bring it out after 28 feet of shaft was sunk. The deal was made by Shufield and his small team of associates was a 50-50 split with the county, but the dig was plagued by challenges, dense boulders, and plenty of mud after the shafts passed the water table. See mud flood. Some experts claimed the dig must reach 1,000 feet, and while Shufield did accomplish 250 feet, he found no gold nor tunnels. When winter turned to spring, the digging stopped as the money dried up and the newspaper stories vanished along with the radio X-ray. G. Warren, as he was called in the days of the Great Lizard City Quest, stayed around Los Angeles and finally passed on in North Hollywood in November 1957, leaving behind his great story and his memorable map. But yeah, it was like in newspapers of the times, if you look it up. I think the likely scenario is it's a shuckster, it's a carny like archaics of that time. He's able to get his story published in a couple papers because he's just looking for like funding. And lizard people's catacomb hunted, yeah, right here, Los Angeles Times. So these types of people like in archaics. Just hucksters and grifters have existed forever, obviously. It says an amazing labyrinth of underground passages and caverns hundreds of feet below the surface of Fort Hill is revealed in maps, all rights to which have been reserved, prepared by G. Warren Shufield, local mining engineer, who explains his topographical endeavors as being based on the results obtained from a radio X-ray perfected by him in this elaborate system of tunnels, just like the Ophis, now called Cipher. A tribe of human beings called the Lizard People lived 5,000 years ago. The network of tunnels formed what Indians called the Lost Lizard City, according to Shufield and the legend. Gold tablets on which are written the origin of the human race and other priceless documents are found in the tunnels, according to the legend. Shufield declares his radio X-ray had located the gold. The engineer has dug a shaft 250 feet in the North Street overlooking North Broadway and intends to dig 1,000 feet in an effort to strike the lost city. The lizard people, man. No wonder shit's hitting the fan in LA. Wonder.
Yes, sir. And hello, Mark. It's good to be on with you. So I just want to let all the viewers know that at about 6 o'clock tonight, the LAPD requested the Sheriff's Department assistance. You're seeing.
I'm going to stream for a little bit longer. I'm going to finish this drink. I don't have too much left, but let's go.
Deputies, and we continue to even send more. I also have requested mutual aid from inside the rest of the county of Los Angeles and outside the county of Los Angeles. So what you're going to start seeing is law enforcement agencies from all over.
Oh, these little elotes dealers are out here making money, bro. The elotes slangers, they're up and down these streets making bank, bro.
The officers. My message to everybody out there is what we're seeing right now is not protest. There's a lot of unlawful activity that is happening, and we're going to stop it. I have requested booking teams.
Damn, look at that zoom,
from
bro.
Our county
Did you
jail
see that
system.
zoom?
We
Wow,
are
let me go
going to
back.
Start take teams, and we're going to protest.
Look at that
There's
zoom,
a lot
bro.
of unlawful activity.
Look at that zoom. I can't even see like the fire when you start zooming. I guess you could see it barely. Damn, that's a hell of a zoom right there.
Jail system. We are going to start taking a lot of people to jail. So I advise people, if you have no legitimate out here, go home.
Chat secretary says, have you heard of the Wes Watson spiral? Yeah. I follow Too Lazy to Try. I follow John Bravo films. I know all about it. Now, you got to remember, Paul Unslaved is the biggest dipshit. He thought Wes Watson was legitimate. Paul Unslaved's whole fucking show was based upon Wes Watson's like advice for the first like couple years. And then once he got a hold of Wes Watson, and Wes Watson didn't want to come on Paul Unslave's show for free. He was trying to fleece him for like 10 grand. Then Paul Unslave completely changed his tune and act like he'd never even heard of fucking Wes Watson. That's what the whole show was fucking based upon.
At first, then I start going to other agencies. That's exactly what I'm...
John Bravo is funny as this fucking piece of shit right here. 5'8" nothing.
We still need additional resources. We will assess if we need to request the National Guard.
Dude, and even Too Lazy to Try, if you guys watch that channel, Too Lazy to Try, you had talked about Andrew Wilson. When Andrew Wilson couldn't open the olive jar, oh my goodness, dude. The bro's slowly becoming the loco, Andrew Wilson. I definitely like some of Andrew Wilson. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's kind of beating a dead horse. You take the most motherfucking obvious position, nuclear family, and then you debate 19-year-old hookers over and over. A couple times I get it. You got to build your channel, and you get on this bigger channel, whatever, and I totally get it, but once you're just doing it over and over and over and over and over, it's just beating a dead horse and fucking dumb at that point. You're going to debate a 19-year-old hooker, shows her butthole on the internet, fucking shekels, and then act like you dunked on somebody. And your entire ideology is based on brute force, and motherfucker can't even open a pickle jar. Fuck out of here.
I think we know from the last 72 hours, as the federal agents are out serving their arrest warrants, we have protesters.
I do like Andrew Wilson for the most part. Like his arguments and his position that, yeah, you need a nuclear family. You do need a Christian nationalistic society. You need at least some kind of homogenized society. You can't have this is what happens when you don't have a homogenized society. It doesn't, obviously I'm going to want it to. I'm a Christian. I'm going to want to live in a Christian nationalistic society, right? I'm not going to want to live in a Sharia law Muslim. And so I agree with him on those points.
Who all they do is go from unrest to unrest and cause problems. They wait for these sorts of situations to happen, and they go there with the intent of causing mayhem. What's your experience with that, and do you believe that's what's happening here?
Blacks.
I do agree with Chief Jim McDonald. He's been in this business a long time, as have I. Unfortunately for us in law enforcement, there are basically professional agitators and protesters. As you see, there are people
they didn't do nothing.
Have legitimate reasons to protest, families, and we see that actually.
Okay, Trope says I'm talking about Andrew Wilson, I believe. He says he ironically needs them to do what they're doing in order to do what he does. I kind of get that point, but at the same time, to act like you're beyond reproach. If anyone calls him out on it, him and his wife will act like they're completely beyond reproach and they're trying to like save these women and get them to make a different choice or something. It's total bullshit. He's just trying to line his pockets, trying to make a name for himself, trying to be a shock jock and all this shit, which is fine, but don't act like you're doing it to save these women and make them make a different choice or some shit.
Reason to protest. But then this is turned to something ugly, violent, and the message has been lost. It's all about individuals who are committing criminal acts, destroying property, and bluntly destroying the city we love. It's unacceptable.
Would you
Exactly. It's unacceptable because now the taxpayer's on the hook to get by the police those new cars. There was 2 or 3 police cars we saw earlier that were damaged. Then now the city's on the hook, the taxpayer on the hook to replace those cars, and any damage to these streets or building, any of this shit is like going to be paid for by the taxpayer.
An option.
That's why you're in a society. You're not 2 or 3 people on a fucking deserted island. There has to be law and order. There has to be. This shit cannot be allowed.
And we may not even wait till tomorrow night. So we'll see. We're definitely keeping that option on.
All right, we have
table.
Right, we have seen your deputies in particular. There was a very high-profile arrest of a guy that was driving a minivan.
Is it a psyop, Drew? Is what a psyop on common sense? Is this right here a psyop? No, this is. If you're talking about this, no, this is just the proverbial useful idiots. Like, I think they could get this to pop off anywhere at any time, just like you saw. You could just send people, and you like that guy in Minneapolis. He just said he read it on Reddit. You could just have someone type in Reddit that this is happening in any city, USA, and the people will go there and they're being trained to punch Nazis and fight back against ICE and stuff, and they'll show up, and you'll get this result right here. So it can actually both be a psyop and both be legitimate. Yo, what's this guy doing?
Proud of their work and proud of the work of a
Squeeze Benz right here. Shit.
These deputies, can you imagine being a family member of one of these deputies?
It's just some why-not on their way to soccer practice right here.
So just I want to make sure the viewers understand that side of everything that's going on. And by the way, a lot of these deputies we have immigration backgrounds. They have immigrant parents, as I do. To answer your last question, I don't have stats as I'm sitting here or stats in front of me right now, but that's something we'll tabulate as the night and morning goes on. We can follow up with our Sheriff's Information Bureau, and they'll provide that to you tomorrow morning.
And if I could ask you a personal question, as someone with immigrant parents, what do you think of what's going on with these raids that ICE is conducting of work sites, Home Depot parking lots, factories?
There's always Mexican in Home Depot parking lot, that's for sure.
These sweeps.
Good place to live.
You know what? I respect our federal partners. If they're going after individuals that are violent and have committed either violent or serious crimes, they should be doing that work as long as there's due process involved. But when you're taking the cooks, the gardeners,
if you're not a legal citizen of the country, you don't get the rights of the country. You don't get the due process.
Different chord, and that's where you can relate to.
I'm not trying to sound like some MAGA chud or something, but go to fucking Dubai and break a law over there and see what happens.
And destroying property and attacking our employees.
Of course.
You can't even get into motherfucking Dubai. I've told this story before. My buddy, I have a good buddy. This is a while. This is maybe like 2012-ish. He's dating this chick, and her dad created some type of irrigation system where he can create green golf courses in a desert environment. So Dubai builders pay him to come over there and build golf courses for them. And he's there for a long time, so he invites his daughter to come stay out there with him, and then she's dating my buddy at the time. And wants to go, and he can't even get in there because he had a 10, 15-year-old drug charge. He can't even get in the motherfucking country. He served his time. He was like, I think he still smoked pot, but you know, he wasn't into crime in any way or anything. They won't even let you in there.
Legal restrictions, but I'm focused on I'm hoping that none of their federal agents get hurt in this. I'm hoping that none of my deputy sheriffs or any police officers get hurt doing this. And I definitely don't want community members, legitimate community members that are protesting or demonstrating peacefully to get hurt in this. So that communication, having that as a common way of going through this, I don't like the rhetoric on the extreme.
Just take this time right here. It might sound corny, but to give a quick shout out to my wife. My wife allows this to happen. She takes care of the kids. Have been crying a few times. I don't know if you've heard them, but she gets them. I just want to say, man, I don't think I've ever been in a what's the word, like a better state in like my mental health than I am right now. Like a lot of great things in my life right now. I've been very blessed with these children. Very blessed with the people we've met here in Jacksonville, the people we've been able to surround ourselves with. I've been sober from weed now for 4 years. Just mainly because I don't know anyone down here that does it. I've ran across it a few times. And it was like, I smoked weed for like 25 years straight since I was maybe 16, 17 years old to like my 40s. And I didn't think I was one of those people like, yeah, it's not. Shibo, crow. Not Sibo, Shibo, my wife. Shibo. Shibio. That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, like, I don't know, bro. Like, I quit my job and I moved down here. I had a bunch of money. And I just lived off that money when I moved to Jacksonville. And the money started to run out and I like debt maxed for a while. And I sold a bunch of shit I was doing eBay, and I sold a bunch of like my own personal shit that wasn't eBay shit, my music equipment shit, and I had like a video, I don't know what you call it, like a little video box. It had a little dial where you could go in and edit the video with the dial and shit. I had a lot of shit, and I sold almost everything. You can see right above me here, I have a speaker. I have my 2 studio monitors is like the only thing I didn't sell. I had them for sale for a while, but no one was willing to pay what I wanted. But I basically sold all my shit. It's like it was like the game Sonic the Hedgehog when you get hit in Sonic and all the rings spling out and shit. I feel like that's what happened in my life. Like all the money and items and shit I had accumulated, everything spilled out. But I never really gotten a point where I couldn't pay my rent or I couldn't. Whatever. I was almost there a couple years ago. Like I got to one point where I was like, I had to sell some guns. I was like, fuck, dude, I'm gonna have to sell I never wanted to do that. I'm like, I'm gonna have to sell these guns, bro, to make the rent. And like by the grace of God, like some huge sales came in on eBay, like right then and there. So I never had to sell any guns. And so I kept my guns and my studio monitor speakers. I have 2 of those up there. But all my other shit basically got sold, and just been kind of playing catch up since then. I have a good paying job, and because I was debt maxing for a while, like just paying that minimum payment, and like I'm not catching up at all. But I'm able to pay my bills, have enough food, feed all these kids, all the people in my house, and like I'm just treading water right now. Other than financially, financially, I'm having a hard time, but I'm not even really worried about it. I got to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Like I think I'll be able to come back. Like I was just about back in March. My money had caught up. And then I had done some late night streams and I fucking called into work because I was so tired the next day, and then I caught right when I caught up, I caught a 3-day unpaid suspension at work. It's like $600 I lost right there. So I was like right where I wanted to be. I was gonna start catching up, and then that set me back a little bit. But other than that, I guess the point I'm trying to make is just like, yo, I've never been like more emotionally stable, I don't think, than I am right now, and it's all because I'm not doing drugs or weed. The only times I drink is when I come on these streams. I'll have a couple drinks. I don't even really need that, but anytime I'm not streaming, I'm not drinking or anything, like, it's helped me a lot. And just, I come home from work basically, and it's like the kids are like nonstop onslaught from the moment I get home. It's just like bam, 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 something to do, bam, 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 until they go to bed, and then it's, oh, I finally get a minute to breathe, and then I can come on here and do this now. And I guess my whole point was I just want to thank my wife and just let people know, you know, like, if you feel like you're addicted to some kind of drug or whatever it is, maybe you have a different addiction that's not a drug, that something you know you need to quit and rely on, man. You can do it, bro. If I can quit weed, I literally smoked almost every day for 25 years, bro. It was a bad addiction. I guess I would never have even admitted it was an addiction. Like, I'm one of those people who've been like, I'm not addicted, bro. I'm not addicted, bro. I just need it every time I'm stressed out. I just need to hit the blunt. Yeah, man, if you feel like you're in that situation where you almost feel like you're hopeless, or you're just stuck in this loop of doing the same thing over and over, man, just hand that shit over to Jesus. That's all you can do. Just hand it over, and you'll be taken care of, man. I don't know. I just pray that soon I'll get out of this little financial loop I'm in. Like, I'm nowhere near like financially crashing out, but you know, things could be a little better. But other than that, that's why it sounds real corny, but there's this, it's just like this burden I have on me to, like, I feel like I can do this right here. Not that I think I'm anything special, but I see a lot of these guys out here that aren't anything special, that are doing this and are making money. Even if I could make just like $2,000 a month on this shit, I feel like I can totally do that. I mean, that would be huge, bro. That would be like huge, life-changing money for me. $2,000 a month plus my job. Like, and that's a drop in the bucket in the grand scheme of things in YouTube. $2,000. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna be out here, Summer Drew, and be out here grinding, doing this shit. Yeah, Bernie, I see you out here. Bernie, I just said he broke up with his girl for all these years. She was supporting him. Yeah, you gotta get sober, bro. Much love to you, Bernie, but you gotta, the only way forward, you gotta get sober. It's hard, bro. Made it easier for me was moving. I don't know if you gotta take that drastic of a step, but since I moved here and I didn't know, like, all my friends in Minnesota were people I smoked weed with for years, right? Like, and our friendship was based on weed. Like, oh, come over, we'll smoke a blunt. And now that I moved here, like, I don't have that, so I was forced to quit, basically. And now that I've met people now that do it and shit, I'm just like, like, fuck it. It'd be nice. I feel like it'd be nice to smoke a blunt, but like, I'm in such a good spot emotionally and mentally. I don't even want to fuck with that and even risk it. I don't know. I feel like there was something else I want to talk to here about LA, but now I'm not remembering. Let's let this play for a minute. I'm gonna finish this drink. I'm almost done. Hopefully, I'll think of it.
Coverage of the situation in downtown Los Angeles. Eyewitness News will be back in just a couple of minutes with more of our team coverage of the events that are unfolding in the City of Angels.
Leave me to talk now. Yeah, my whole point to that rant, I guess, was to say shout out to my wife, and I'm very fortunate, very lucky, very blessed to have met her. And I said I would never get married again, and here I am with a bunch more kids, and oh shit, I'm old as fuck, shitting out kids. I gotta go get a vasectomy. That's my next. I can't be doing. I'm with a fertile myrtle here, bro. Can't be doing this. Shit, my money's tight. Let's go back to X here. Laura Loomer. Time to deploy Palantir Tech. Los Angeles to deal with the illegals. That's part of the okay, this is my I don't even know if I should admit this. This is my boy Mars. I don't know if anyone here knows who this is. This is the guy Mars. I have a feeling there will be a day where me and him will do like a podcast together. Not like an ongoing thing, but like an interview type thing or something. I've known this dude since maybe 2000. And he actually helped me get started in graphics. And like I looked up to him as an inspiration to his graphics and helped me like, I wanted to kind of go to school for it or something. He told me, don't go to school. Just do this. This kind of helped me. Gave me that encouragement to keep pursuing the graphics and stuff way back in the day. Way. And when he came on tour in Minnesota, he'd stay at my house and shit.
Now at 11, breaking news, a third night of protests amid ICE raids in downtown LA. Scenes turning dangerous as tensions...
Yeah, he's kind of like a juggalo type rapper or whatever. A funny ass dude. I bet it'd be a funny ass podcast.
2,000 members of the California National Guard. Some arriving today as hundreds of U.S. Marines remain on alert, but some aren't agreeing with the federal response.
I was hoping to prevent this situation from happening. I was trying to encourage the administration that if they deployed the National Guard in Los Angeles, it would create a sense of chaos.
The scenes changing moment by moment, at times becoming violent. Hello, thank you for joining us. You're watching Eyewitness News at 11, live on ABC 7, Hulu, and wherever you stream. I'm Mark Brown. The number of people we have seen on the streets
Rooftop Koreans.
But the chaos has
okay, I know that was the one more thing I wanted to do. Hold on.
About an hour ago, the LAPD declaring an unlawful assembly for the entire downtown Los Angeles area.
There's one more thing I wanted to get to here before I move on. Shut it down. Is Rodney King hoax. Original Los Angeles riots. I want to look into it. Well, Russian vids already did years. You can just go.
Those that come to my YouTube channel know I break down a lot of the current hoaxes that are taking place in the media. The psyops that push agendas of the divide and conquer. And a lot of people on YouTube that make videos, they cover current events. What I like to do is go back in time and cover past events and break those down as well. And one thing I took a look at is the Rodney King and the police brutality story that took place back in 1992. And taking a closer look at that, I found a lot of interesting things about that.
Yeah.
You know, I've made videos about the O.J. Simpson trial as well.
New Age Design says Rodney King's. Yeah, and he died at 47 years old. Donald Trump's your 47th president.
Which was nothing more. Take a look at the Rodney King psyop. I'm going to break this down right now. And while doing some research on Rodney King and the riots that took place again, like I stated back in 1992, I saw this documentary that took place in 2011 on CNN with Don Lemon. Just take a look at his hands here during the beginning of this documentary with Rodney King. That's all you got to see. A Masonic hand sign. I'll talk about this a little bit later in the video. This is very important with those that know about Freemasonry and the hand signs.
Security to a national symbol of police brutality. The brutal beating that took place here along Foothill Boulevard in Los Angeles, California, would reverberate across the country.
A city in flames. Entire neighborhoods burned to the ground.
2 decades later, what's it like to be the man whose beating, seen round the world, ignited one of the worst race riots in U.S. history?
Okay, now let's take a look at some footage here. Of course, everybody knows how Rodney King looks like. Now let's take a look at the footage of the supposed beating of Rodney King. And I analyzed this more than a few times, and something caught my eye. The first thing I was looking for when I was watching the video is if it was real or not. Because a lot of times, you know, just like, say, pro wrestling, they could be beating on someone, and it's fake. You know, there's no other words to put it than looking unrealistic. Well, in the case with Rodney King and the beating that happened to him, I looked at that footage very carefully, and there was nothing fake about the actual beating. But the problem I came across, let's take a look at the video here. Got a little clip here. You can take a look and see.
And the jury understood that Rodney King was always the aggressor. Rodney King had the ability at any time to say, "That's it, I don't want any more," and he never did.
Now,
dude, that shit look fake as fuck to me. I don't know how he can say that doesn't look fake. Like, it's the blurriest camera. They could have these. If it was fake, these nightsticks they have could be just, you know, rubber or even foam type fucking nightstick they're whacking them with. Can't even really tell if it connects or not because the quality is so shitty.
taking a look at this beating that took place here with supposedly Rodney King, there's an issue I have. Like I said, I was looking for any type of fakery, you know, the blows to him that if they didn't look realistic. Well, the thing is, there wasn't a real beating that took place. But after looking at this video very carefully, it wasn't Rodney King, it was somebody else. So what they did was, they used an actual police beating video and claimed it was Rodney King. It's like they edited it all together. They took old footage of police actually beating someone up and pieced it together like a movie, and they stated it was Rodney King when it was not. Now I'm going to show some images right here. Now before I go to the images, I want to point out something. You know, with all these hoaxes and psyops, it's all about the numbers and dates. And taking a look of this supposed date it took place, March 3rd. March, of course, being the third month of the year. That's the 3. You got the third day, you have 33. With all the psyops, all the hoaxes, you're going to get that number 33. Another thing I want to mention as well, 4 policemen are charged on March 15th. So you got 4 policemen. It's like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. In March, again, you get the number 3. And you get 1 and 5 is 6. You get 3 and 6. And that's 666. Now, taking a look at some of the still frames from the video of the supposed beating of Rodney King, one thing I noticed, getting a close-up of this person, their skin looks a little bit lighter, and the hair looks like a Caucasian. It doesn't look like the hair of a black person.
I don't know, that shit look nappy to me.
That right here. Clearly see
look a little afro-y.
This hair and this skin tone does not look like Rodney King. You get some other images here, taking a closer look.
Can't even tell what the fuck. Those are Rorschach right there.
This looks like a light-skinned man. Doesn't look like Rodney King.
Yeah, it's call for an uprising.
That hair just doesn't look right. Doesn't look like Rodney King at all. More images here.
Rodney Bling.
Now, are you going to tell me this is Rodney King? I don't think so. This is someone else. And as far as fitting all the pieces together, they're going to claim it's Rodney King being filmed and beaten. But again, if you look at the footage in its entirety, you're gonna see there's some actual, it's a pretty brutal beating. It wasn't fake. That's for sure. The question isn't if this guy got beat up. It's
how do you cite your scopes without spending a dime on ammo or even going to the range?
Who got beat up? And for what I can tell, with careful observation, it was not Rodney King. Like I said, you can clearly see that. Again, looking at this image.
Fuck are you supposed to see with that image?
Like a black man. Looks more like a white man. Now, to understand, again, the 33, which I discussed earlier with the date of March 3rd. March 3rd being 33. Now, in history, with all the PSYOPs, you're going to get that number 33, which, of course, is the highest degree in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Now, let's take a look here, some past PSYOPs. I've covered this before in the past with the O.J. Simpson
Get the Rodney
trial.
King. What else you got on Rodney? Getting into all kinds of
99% of society will not understand this.
He's basically saying it's a real beating.
Here.
Help 911. She warned police. Are you trying?
That I was expecting to.
Who's that?
Aspiring actor, loving son, and young man ready for marriage.
I have to spend the next 50, 60 years of my life alone, knowing that the person that I was expecting to live with is gone. 50, 60 years of my life.
Incredible discrepancy between horrific.
Throw against the wall.
So that was it on Rodney King, I guess.
And being in the courtroom.
All right, man. Let's do one more lap. We're going to do one more lap on what's going on right now.
Hill Street in the background there.
That shit.
As I said earlier, law enforcement believes that this was an arson fire, and LAPD has their helicopter overhead trying to direct other available units, if they are available and they can safely do so, to try and take the person into custody that the air unit officer believes actually started this fire, at the very least added fuel to this fire and helped it spread. So this is what LAPD, LA County Sheriffs, and all the law enforcement agencies in downtown are working with right now. You still have a lot of individuals kind of scattered throughout the downtown area. We're not seeing a lot of major crowds as we saw earlier, but a lot of individuals that are bent on doing things like this and starting fires, starting dumpster fires and the like, and LAFD has to kind of wiggle their way through the crowds around some of the debris and make their way in to put fires like this out. I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't opened the hose lines, if you will, to start.
Hoses. Go get them bikes and shoot them with beanbag. Go get the firemen and get the water hoses. Go get them biting dogs, them German shepherds that they sicked on the niggas in the 60s. Sick them on them Mexicans and watch they get their ass out the way. Shit, nigga, they ain't fucked up. This is America. Nigga, and if you man, I ain't no come on, this is America. You got to come the right way. Can't come the wrong way.
They gonna call it the LA Massacre or some shit.
Hey, fuck the LA Massacre.
It ain't the dogs and shit. That ain't the six.
Who's this dude, a beekeeper?
They got $1 billion budget. Don't let our taxpaying dollars go to waste. Letting them motherfucking Mexicans wreak havoc in the streets.
Who's the beekeeper?
Don't send the National Guard. Don't send the Marines too. Shoot on sight if a motherfucker ain't following the laws of America. Martial law.
Hey, California.
Bam.
They lost it. You got to get it back if you can't.
Yo, who got beekeeper fatigue up in here?
Ain't take it by force, it ain't yours no more. Shoot them with beanbag. Go get the firemen and get the water hoses. Go get them biting dogs, them German shepherds that they sicked on the niggas.
Get them biting dogs. Get them biting dogs, man. How did you get them biting dogs? You sick them on Rosa Parks? Shit, you send them on Jorge and Jesus. You know, Kamala's got a statement here. Los Angeles is my home, like so many Americans, I'm appalled at what we're witnessing in the streets of our city. Deploying the National Guard is a dangerous escalation meant to provoke chaos. In addition to the recent ICE raids in Southern California and across our nation, it is part of the Trump administration's cruel, calculated CC 33, cruel, calculated agenda to spread panic and division. This administration's actions are not about public safety. They're about stoking fear of a community demanding dignity and due process. Protest is a powerful tool, essential in the fight for justice. And as the LAPD mayor and governor have noted, demonstrations in defense of our immigrant neighbors have been overwhelmingly peaceful. I continue to support millions of Americans who are standing up to protect our most fundamental rights and freedoms. And yeah, that's what Trump said. They got to go liberate them. Liberate Los Angeles. On that exact, I saw the headlines that Trump said, liberate Los Angeles. Here's a live stream from, okay, here's a dude driving through the street. Here we go.
Avoid LA Civic Center area, unlawful assembly declared. All right, so yeah, they're gonna start shooting people with the rubber bullets. I think that's what that call we heard was them kind of getting their supplies back up. Beanbag rounds, all the less lethal stuff. That dude has a baseball bat.
Alright, so really checking this information for 50 man area 14141, Riverside Drive information, send 3738 or D964.
On the back of Basin Hill. I don't know.
Dude's driving around with the scanner. This is where it's at, man. Got 12,000 people in his line.
No weapons observed. Monitor comments for indirect inference hazard. Code 2 incident 3743, party 1838.
All right, this is still open. We can come up through the middle of Little Tokyo.
In a black BMW sedan. Road director suspect male version mid-30s, white shirt and black pants. Code 2 incident 374, 4067.
What up, Shannon Hansen? What up, Michael Simpson? All right, the cops have this.
Somebody just donated $125 to him.
Right? The cops have this completely blocked off.
South of First House Ring, I need police.
And then here's the helicopter going right around City Hall.
Right hand turn, just come all the way, follow the light, take your right, you'll see the unit. As possible shooting just occurred, 6900 West Manchester, 6900 West Manchester.
Damn, thank you so much, 86 GOP. Buy me a taco stand later. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Can
I get a my location to assist with jumping vehicle?
Right, this is right through the middle of Little Tokyo.
Olivia, Screaming Woman, 6024 Hazelhurst Place, 6024. Hazelhurst Place, Apartment 2. Screaming.
I have 5 different phones, so they're all doing that emergency thing. Sorry about that. It's probably loud. Well, thank you for the gifted memberships.
I've never been to LA, but it looks just like any other shithole. Just like Minneapolis or anything else. I'm sure it's just way bigger.
Congestion up there. It looks like a couple news helicopters. We're going to go see if we can take a look at the looting that's going on to the left.
16 verify with 2891 and my incident on Booster.
I'm seeing some fireworks too.
Negative with a 2875, and yes, you can step back.
Yo, what's up, Sherelle Snow? Where's your boy EBT? Fucking dude's MIA. EBT MIA. Where's your boy? Call him up.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
The vault. Roger that. I am the vault. I'm just seeing if one of the Suburbans that are out with the TSCs can get to them quicker.
Nigel Crane, thank you so much. BC Mike, thank you.
Okay, boy, you got it.
And Christina Stanley, thank you for making 5 new members in here. What up, Hacksident?
Negative. We are at Metro loading up your ammunition now.
Oh, they're getting reloaded.
Okay, roger that.
Female 97. Germany 95 code 6 in the area of Echo Park and Sunset. Indeed, come in.
4 on the help caller.
So here are the phones we're working with. This is the one that's helping me find the scene. This is my chat. We have one down here. 1, 2, 3. The one that you're watching on 4, and then the helicopter one's 5.
Crazy.
And here are the most current calls. This rubbish fires on the 101. That's the big one that we were seeing.
Keep coming towards the end of the parking lot. You're going to take another right. Yeah, come up in the air. Yourself a frequency with you guys. Where you at? We are on Temple between Maine and LA.
1449, I have your PR on the line from incident 36.
Jack and Neve, thank you so much.
5750 Sentinel Avenue. Are you able to respond?
We've been
Calling
watching.
unit for the code 3 call, NRD 1526, identify.
Okay, 1200, I'll stay right here.
A lot of people wearing masks, but just everywhere you look, this graffiti. Just the whole city.
Code 2 incident 3731,
blown up.
NRD 1474.
South of First Street.
No, that shit's not even graffiti. Graffiti has some talent to it. That shit's weak ass fucking tag.
Location.
Whoa.
There's that first stem. Disregard 374, 374.
BC Mike, thank you, bro.
374.
BC Mike, thank you very much.
On the northbound traffic blocked or 103A63.
And Christina Stanley, thank you both for gifting subs in here.
36 open traffic, thank you. Pressing A unit to respond to the rear on Montana.
662.
Did you handle?
We're gonna be
hey, Lisa Swift, thank you so much. That's my homie right there. What up, Lisa?
From Temple. Yeah, Roger. I'll probably meet you at the intersection because we're have a blocking force facing north.
Okay, here's the plan. The shops are on the left. The one that we saw getting looted, that was the Jordan shoe store. And then we heard that the Adidas store was getting robbed too. So those shoe stores are to my left. That's where we're gonna go over and see if that's still going on.
What about the work boot store? Is that one getting looted? They got the damn work boot store getting looted.
Got overrun. To be honest, that's where I thought they were going to put the National Guard, but I don't know. Maybe they're working their way over to that. I don't know. It's Sunday night, 11.
Pretty says, when did the word shill just vanish? Well, now, people I disagree with, they're either agents or they're bots. I don't think they're shills anymore. Bots are agents. So. Yeah, I agree. DWS says...
I do have the gas mask, too.
Looks like a regular day in the city. I agree.
1555 and a possible 459 suspect also timed out.
I'm gonna go about 5 more minutes. That'll give me 3 hours. I'll shut it down in about 3 hours. Let's just see what this dude's doing. Yeah, it just looks like a regular night, man. They ain't raging. That's for sure.
With the tacos. Hey. 86 got you. Thank you.
SUV, TC with a bus, it's code 2073760 RD 412.
Yeah, there are a bunch of calls coming out right now.
7860 citizen, no evidence of crime.
I don't know. I expected more of Los Angeles. This shit looks the same as fucking Minneapolis to me. Again, I'm assuming it's just way, way, way bigger. Look, there's like joggers out in the middle of the night out there.
Service has approximately 30 to 40 vehicles at Loyola and Manchester. Vehicles are facing westbound, requesting the shooters to respond to clear out the vehicles.
49, make it back up, please, until you get sufficient units to do that safely.
AM 74 Element Neil closing a backup area supervisor Loyola and Manchester for 1473, approximately 30 to 40 vehicles facing westbound. Burnett from Pacific Station. Hi, 1449 24 from Pacific Station to Loyola and Manchester.
Down on Manchester, vehicles are not heading west on Manchester towards Lincoln. Thank you, 459, go ahead and second.
Units are now responding west from Manchester towards Lincoln. Yo. 8696. I have the number when you're ready.
Go.
696.
Fuck ice tags everywhere. Hey man, we chilling. We chilling here, man. I appreciate everyone that's here, man. No bullshit. This is what I'd be doing if I wasn't streaming or anything. I'd be like clicking these same links and having these same thoughts in my head. And it's cool that I have an outlet and that people are here interested enough to at least listen and be here and hang out and be part of this. So appreciate everyone that's here.
For further description of the qualification, citation 3755.
1473, be advised that the brigade of vehicles are now headed eastbound on Manchester.
369 630 2011 44 suspect now Magnolia 11 platoon 3704 RD 2069. Pedro
29 negative, the 459 on Broadway, 7 Road.
Any track you receive?
Couple more minutes and I'll let ride.
This
if
is
anything happens.
Now a citizen holding this.
This is where the store got looted right here.
Hey, they ain't robbing the Skechers store. That's odd. Where's the Healy store?
Two advising 95, we're going to set up in the back.
62.
Right, 95, we're going to go to the rear.
Where's EBT, motherfucker? Okay, interesting. Sherelle says the summer of fire and ice. That's something they did a few years ago when they did the ice bucket challenge. They had the ice, and then they had at the same time they did the ice bucket challenge. There was like
there's a lot going on right now.
I forget what it might have just been called the fire challenge, where people were putting lighter fluid on their body inside of a shower and lighting it up, and then turn the shower on.
And just really take everything in and make sure that we get to look at something interesting. 86 GOP, yo. Thank you for the 20 subs. And thank you, Gregory, for the Venmo.
She's making bank, bro.
130,
Speaking of making bank, like Archaics makes so much money and he's ripping Don off from all this money. All I have right here is I have a $20 USB mic. This dude can't buy a $20 USB mic because his audio is dog shit. Like I used to have a professional $500 mic and I would run it into my Ableton Live Studio and, you know, reroute it out. And I think still it even sounded fucked up. I didn't have the settings quite right. It sounded a lot better than this though, but this is just a $20 mic. This dude, Archaics, can't even get a $20 mic. All this money he's fleecing out of these fucking subscribers.
Duran!
Yeah, hard to air. He said making bank and no action. Yeah, nothing's happening at all.
You wanna hop in?
He's gonna let someone in his car.
That's Duran right there on his one wheel. I think the one wheel died.
96 ATX 96 cancel 3692 cancel by PR.
All right, man. Not enough action for me to keep going. Misty says, gruesome Newsom didn't take responsibility for the fires and he won't take responsibility for the war. Needs to get dumped.
Here's the Adidas shop that was getting looted right here. We'll take just a quick look and see what got taken.
All right, I'll watch this one little part and probably shut it down. Anything interesting?
Amelia Avenue, code 2, incident 366.
Thank you, appreciate you. Yeah. Tell your chat and they'll tell me. I'll continue. So last time when this started happening, all this plywood, like trucks and trucks of plywood came in, and then they were charging these businesses a lot of money to do like emergency plywood service. Whoa. So while the
Yeah, a lot of graffiti.
other sneaker shop is down there, while that was getting looted, they left and came and started looting this one. You can see the cops inside.
So it looks like some shell toes are missing, some tracksuits. That's about it. So California didn't go as hard tonight as I thought they would. I thought there'd be a lot more action going on here. Maybe it will later into the night, but at my time is 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to shut it down. Appreciate everyone that was in here. There's over 100 people here right now. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way out. Still haven't heard from EBT. My guy, hit me up, bro. Hopefully everything's okay. We'll let you know when we figure... Did EBT become his own true crime episode? What happened, bro? Not sure where he's at. Hope everything's good. Wish nothing for the best for him and his family. And yeah, everyone that was here tonight, man. Thanks for being here. I like the vibe of the chill stream. We can just hang out and click around. I don't have to have like the preparation. The Drew World Order stream, I feel like I have to make a political thumbnail and like have at least some shit down so there's a flow to it. And I can keep my foot on the gas and keep going. Here I can just kind of chill and do it at my own leisure. Like I said, this is the shit I'd be doing anyway, even if no one was watching me or anything. Literally be clicking these exact same links. So yeah, thanks to everyone that was here, man. I do appreciate everyone's time. And peace out. Don't forget, Christ is King.